well, chat. Okay, I had like a whole minute to spare. This is probably a little too loud for the VC. Hold on. We're not in the VC yet, but hold on. We are establishing the fail zone. All right. I will now connect in. And I have to remember every single time I want to click on my live control panel, I have to click twice because I have the ban list open in a separate window. But we're connected. It still sounds a little loud in my ears. Chat, you'll have to tell me how the audio balance is. But we're here. Way swag. Everything's working. Yes, today we will be finishing, hopefully, Code Talkers and other Cybers stuff, and probably Firewall Dragon, because last time it was weird and scuffed. Miss Pear exploded, so it was just me and Loth for the meat of it, and so it was wacky, wild. Now, for some reason, I do have co-hosts, but they're not saying anything or acknowledging their distance. There we go. Loth made a sound.
I said hi earlier. You just did not respond.
I didn't hear you, so I don't... Ax, I think you did that thing where you saw me appear and you instantly said hi, and I'm not actually connected instantly because Discord is a mysterious piece of software.
Discord hates your computer for some reason.
Also, I showed up to
Discord
you
hates many
talking. I'm
people.
not going to interrupt you like an asshole.
No, that's fair, but I have the sounds off for the reason that they get very intrusive if you're streaming or recording, but I just happened to look back and saw you logged in, and I'm like, oh, hey, Loth's here. And it was like, you made some sounds. I'm like, all right, everybody's here. But yes, we're in, and like I said, hopefully the audio balance is correct. Like I said, I felt like the music was a little loud, so I fussed with it a little, but we're going. Yeah, everything's unmuted. But first, of course, it is the ban listing season, and it is actually the appropriate. It says this list goes into effect September 15th. So that was yesterday. So the TCG ban list has updated, and for some reason, it's like really tiny text. You're zoomed in on OBS chat, so you can see it a little better. But I don't know why the font text is very tiny normally. I kicked it up to 110 on my end.
Tiny.
But you know, we'll scroll through and we'll see some stuff. Let me make sure these are framed up. Yes, you're framed. You can see. You can perceive, chat. Excellent. So, Moon of the Closed Heaven, gone. Splash Mage, gone. Paradise Smasher, gone. And also, they got the king! The king!
He's
That's
back
King of
in jail
Fairlamps.
again!
No, King of Fairlamps is he's never been jailed.
Really? I thought he was.
No, he's always. That's why he.
Loth,
always came
no,
up,
that's
because
why
he was never banned.
he's never been banned because for 25 years of this game, reptiles have been shit.
Not for lack of trying.
True, actually true. They've tried several times, and I guess that's technically incorrect. Like in their era, alien, there were alien decks that did stuff Technically, I think there were some weird, like, worm brews.
Sorry, that was my alarm going off.
It's your alarm telling you need to be on Fail Portrayal. Good work. Thumbs up.
Omega, I'm not sure when it happened, but at some point you guys shifted time. Your time's like an hour ahead than normal for me.
I was like,
Daylight savings days, imagine.
That probably sounds like that, yeah. Because we change our times.
It used to just be like, oh man, it's 10 a.m. I wake up at 9 a.m. I've got an hour until stream. Now it's, I wake up at 9 a.m. People have already started the stream. Shit. I've got 15 minutes.
I'm pretty sure there should be some sort of fallback at some point. And then we will do the dance once again where everybody says this will be the last time. We passed the law. Daylight saving time is dead. Nobody likes it. It's terrible. And then we'll get back to spring forward again, and everybody will be like, yeah, we're changing the clocks again. And I'm like, why? What purpose do you exist for?
There has been a thing where everyone's kind of hated it ever since its inception.
Correct, because it's bad for you, actually. Like, literally, statistically proven, it's bad. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your work rate. It's bad for everything. It literally does nothing. And every time the government says they'll change it, because it would be the most universally popular thing I think they could do, but they can't even do that. Sucks. Anyway,
the topic at hand.
Yeah, we've defuggled the timeline, but yeah, no. King of the Fair Imps is banned. He's been banned because we've realized that a generic rank 4 that searches any reptile in the game is finally broken.
Because it lets you just play Mitsurugi and I think most decks that can do rank 4s.
Yeah, which is most decks, because Ryzeal still exists and will continue to exist for some time, even if it's just a tiny baby package. Because
So they got rid of the king to make Mitsurugi less splashable and things.
I mean, yeah, it's because
Mitsurugi
Mitsurugi is like Mitsurugi is really good. Like obviously didn't have a lot of showing at Worlds because it wasn't out yet. The World Premiere Pack is coming out in the OCG soon, so the OCG is gonna finally get Mitsurugi and Mimigul. We'll see if that means they pack like some OCG style support cards in either core sets or World Premiere sets. Personally, if we're talking, I don't think Mitsurugi needs anything. I would like one extra Mimigul that destroys all my opponent's spell traps, please. That's the only thing the deck doesn't do is face down back row. You can blow up face up cards really easy. You can blow up all their monsters really easy. If your opponent has set cards, you can't really interact with them outside of Throne sometimes. But anyway, we already did the Mimigul episode. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, so, but Mitsurugi is, they have a one-card starter, a true one-card starter that if you get one card, which happens to be a level 4 reptile, you get to do your entire fucking combo. So King of the Feral Imps is just any deck that makes rank 4s can play the complete Mitsurugi combo on top of anything else they do. So, yeah, like, honestly, this is one of those things that's kind of like, literally the only reason why King of Feral Imps was not a problem card was because reptiles didn't have a good enough deck yet. Like, he's detach 1, add a reptile. Normally, like, Bonfire's been limited. I think Bonfire's still limited in TCG and Master Duel and shit. Reinforcements from the Army has been limited for, like, forever, over 10 years, I think. So, yeah, King of Feral Imps is just those things on a body, so it doesn't matter. Paradise Smasher, good. That guy got banned in the OCG last of their list. Everybody was expecting this one because it's a rank 5 that's basically another version of the VFD type effect. You roll some dice, and whoever rolls worse can't activate monster effect with levels, I think. Or maybe just monster effects can't activate monster effects, period. And also, Paradise Smasher has a dice fixing effect where you just get to fix your rolls so you always win. So absolutely dog shit, non-play card that probably needed to be banned the moment a good rank 5 deck happened, which is K9. So yeah, the links that were hit, Moon of the Closed Heaven, this is another one that's kind of funny, but basically this was the card that, like, everybody was really chasing, and I think she was actually printed in low rarity, even in TCG, but it's just, she's a light fiend, and any 2 effect monsters makes her, which means you can make 1 light fiend to do the entire Fiendsmith combo. And similar to King of Feral Imps, it seems like Konami is just like, okay, guys, you gotta stop. We didn't make these bridge cards to be used like that. You gotta stop just being like, oh, well, if I include 1 extra deck card to bridge, I could play a 10-card engine and then the other 30 cards in my deck. It's like, no, you gotta mix it up, guys. You gotta stop playing the same shit over and over again. I don't even remember what Splash Mage does, but he's a generic Cyberse extender. Like, it goes in Malice and other decks, so everybody hates it. So yeah, it's just, yeah. It link climbs super. I think it's a link 2 that, like, basically if you're playing a Cyberse deck, automatically makes a link 3. That's very relevant in Malice, but also in any combination of Cyberse decks. Actually, honestly, I should double check. I don't think we talked about. Loth, do you remember? Did we talk about Splash Mage last time?
I can't even remember. Maybe.
If not, we should look at him later because he is a generic Cyberse card.
When I skimmed through the, I think you guys just did all like the Code Warriors.
Yeah, we did the Code Talkers and their associated bits and some generic Cyberse guys. Today, the docket is Cynet Spell Traps, a handful of the generic kind of like Cyberse extra deck monsters that the Cynets support, all the later Code Talkers and accessories, and then if we have time, Firewall Dragon and stuff, because that's at. Funnily enough, I think it's because Firewall Dragon had to be banned in real life. But for being the protagonist's ace monster, there's a decent number of variations of him, but there aren't actually, like, that many, like, Firewall support packages. It's not like Dark Magician, where, like, Dark Magician has separately, like, become a deck that stands on its own, plus Dark Magician retrains that go into shit like Shining Sark as, like, the Sorry, I almost said the Yugi Slop deck, and I'm just like, we truly, we've lost all meaning. But yeah, in the Memory Duel Yugi deck Shining Sark combo, like, they have a variant of shit like Gaia and Dark Magician that go there, but yeah. So Splash Mage is a generic extender that everybody hated in those decks for Cyberse, and it's gone. So let's talk about the limits. Let me see where we're at. Okay. So, constricting of Malice and Ryziel continues. Ext Ryziel was semied, is now fully limited. That's good. Honestly, they probably don't want to do it because they don't want to end the entire deck's career, but they should probably send X to hell. It is the single most free extender in the universe. You summon X by sending a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, which means you get to do all the funny effects you do when that happens. Or other setup that really sucks. And then also when he's summoned, you search another Ryziel, basically. Definitely send that guy to hell. Dormouse is interesting because Dormouse is probably the best starter in Malice. But I've talked about this before. I need to, like, watch some high-level Malice games or something. I like Malice aesthetically, and I do think it's kind of easy to wrap your head around the deck. I don't get what people find so annoying about Malice, because when I play Malice, it's very frustrating because it's a very linear deck. You have literally 4 names that are all hard onces, so, like, you have a pretty stringent limitation on what you can do. So I don't really know. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, Malice, it's so oppressive, it's so annoying," and I'm like, really? I guess, like, if they actually do their combo uninterrupted and they have enough names, they do make a Link 3 that, like, is a once per turn non-targeting banish, you know, and there are some funny interruptions with the trap cards, but, like, you know, I don't know, just play a Lightning Storm 5-head. Spoilers, Lightning Storm's back at 3. But Dormouse is, like, the easiest one, so that was limited. Now, here's a funny one. Vanquish Soul Raisin, limited. This one's interesting, and a lot of people are calling this a little premature because Canine hasn't, or rather, Vanquish Soul Canine hasn't been good for that long. Holly Sue was Duelist Advance, I believe was the set name. It was one of those sets. That was like late July, so it's been like 2 months since Vanquished Soul has actually stood on its own. But they did win Worlds, and Raisin is a card that is pretty old. It's one of the classic ones, and has always been like the deck's best starter, you know? So, putting him to 1 probably makes sense to kind of staple down the deck. Also, it means that with Holly Sue, it, like, turns him into a Garnet, like, if you don't have a second one in deck. You know, he's in your hand, you can't do the thing. And also, does mean that, like, if you did do it, you could get, like, an extra pop on your opponent's turn mid-combo with Holly Sue. So I guess, like, limiting him, like, affects the math. We'll see if it matters. Lacrima is unbanned. Fun fact, it was literally because it was a time card. It was the world's most generic time card, chat. It did 1,200 damage, and it was super easy to summon with the Fiendsmith engine. Now that they changed the time rules, they've unbanned Lacrima. It's just that easy. This will make the future Fiendsmith episode very interesting, chat. You can tell that my co-hosts have neither been booting up Master Duel nor been playing TCG Sims in a while. They have no idea what I'm talking about. You ever summoned a Fiendsmith Lacrima, boys?
Yeah.
No.
Kind of shows more fun.
Fiendsmith's another weird one that's like, it seems kind of fun,
I like
but
it aesthetically.
unfortunately, yeah, aesthetics are cool. It's a deck that seems fun, but unfortunately, I feel like Konami built it to be packagized, if that makes sense. Like, they just didn't come out with enough cards that go in your main deck to make you go, oh, I need to build a whole strategy around this. It's like, no, you just kind of tuck that guy in there and make it work. I don't know. It's weird. Lacrima is not going to make the deck either as an engine or as a standalone strategy any better. It just gives them another piece back, and it truly was just a card that was problematic because everybody in the universe could make it when everybody was playing Fiendsmith and dome you for 12 and then win. Linkuriboh. We'll talk about that guy. He's literally first on my list. So it's very fortuitous that he was unbanned between streams. But yeah, Linkuriboh's back. Snake Eyes is no longer a standalone deck, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Linkuriboh exists. There's no deck about level 1s. You know, Mimigul Rejoice. They also finally unbanned Summon Sorceress. She has an errata now. She's had an errata for like fucking 3 months, I think, maybe more, and they finally unbanned her. They also have not unbanned MX Saber Invoker. Don't know what that is the thing, right? I think there's 2 unbans in the TCG that nobody has any idea what they're smoking. They haven't unbanned Electromite, which, like, I think at this point truly does not matter. Every single deck that comes out, like, accidentally has an anti-pendulum tech. From whether it's the new, like, Magical Musket Link 2 that can, like, force set cards in your opponent's spell trap zones, or I think they just premiered something. Was it one of the Dark Lord cards or one of the other generics? Like, they literally just had another card that's like, look at the top card in your opponent's deck. You know, if it's a monster, like, put it in their spell trap zone or something. Or if it's a spell, put it face up in their spell trap zone or some shit. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I don't think the OCG understands that you can. They've changed the rules so you can put if you put cards in the pendulum zones, the other guy can't play pendulum. I don't understand. Like, do people just not? Is that, like, considered too rude to do in Japan? I don't get it. But yeah, Summon Sork is eroded, so she's unbanned. Herald of Arclight to 1. This is a hit to Yummy. But also does kind of futz with a few other ritual-focused decks. I do think there were some Mitsu Brews, which were playing, like Mitsurugi Raizio, who were playing multiples. Because, hey, guess what? He's a guy in the fucking extra decks, so you can send him with X'd. But this does actually disrupt a couple of decks. There are, unfortunately, a few rogue strats that heavily relied on multi-herald. Sorry, I almost said multi-herald threading. That's not quite correct, but there were some two Herald of Arclight brews that are dead now. But unfortunately, this is the price you pay for being a rogue deck. If you use a really good generic piece of support as your keystone, better decks can do that too, so... Now, here's a funny one. Dryden's back. Oh, I scrolled a little too far. Let me scroll back up. Sorry, it's my beat. Oh.
She's free.
Yeah, so you see that card that's right above Zodiac Dryden, Ryziel Detonator? That guy's like Dryden times 1,000. So Konami realized that if you can only have one Ryziel Detonator, you can have one Zodiac Dryden. It actually does not matter. So yeah, I think that's fair. Like a lot of people are like, a lot of people have PTSD from like Zoo format about Dryden. I genuinely think that like Dryden is really annoying, but Detonator truly is just her but better, and I think even more generic. Is Dryden any level 4s? I think Dryden might be any level 4, but you can make her with one mat if you're specifically using Zodiacs or Beast Warriors.
Well, let's boot up Edio Pro and double check.
Yeah, we'll check on that. But basically, she's like mostly generic. There are just ways to cheat her out, but she's not as generic as Ryziel. So another one that's kind of like that's just how the game goes. Now in spell traps, there are a few of those. Crystron Inclusion got hit. I don't remember what this one does, but I know it's a pretty good Crystron card. Crystron is the 4th best deck, specifically Crystron K9. Crystron is the other big K9 brew because they're kind of centered around a couple of really good level 5s.
4 level 4 monsters for Trident.
Okay, yeah, so she's...
But you can use one Zodiac monster.
Yeah, so you cheat her out with a Zodiac. You could technically make her generically, but you're never going to do that, so... I think that's fair. You can play one Dryden if you can include a Zodiac package. But yeah, Crystron Inclusion is just one of those good cards. This one might be again a little premature, but it does if we're making VS K9 worse, then I guess hitting Crystron K9 so that it doesn't automatically become the best deck is also fair. Because hey, spoilers, Stake Your Souls on this list too. They put stake. You can no longer. I've got your nose. It's limit 1. Again, seems a little excessive, but Stake Your Soul was one of their really good searchers, and now that they actually like, now that every Vanquish Soul deck is actually playing, Dr. Madlove to search like the field spell and shit. I think there's something to be said for your other power spell. Literally the best spell they have. So a limit, probably not crazy, but again, that's 2 hits for VS. Obedient School to 1. R.I.P. Fabled. This is also a yummy hit. Obedient School's not a hard once per turn, chat. Not any kind of once per turn, actually, I think. So it's just a really funny free extender in Yummy that you could do multiple times if you draw them. Wild, I know. And then, funnily enough, Solemn Johnson himself, the classic Solemn Judgment, to 1. This is another one that's a little interesting. Genuinely, I think this is also a result of the time rules. Basically, Solemn Judgment. It's a strong card, yeah. It's always been a strong card, and people still say it's like one of the strongest going first tools in the game. Just the ability to possibly multiple times per turn before it was limited, but the ability to set a card and just have one no button is great. And now you don't automatically lose if the round... I mean, you do automatically lose, but having half your life points spent because of Solemn Judgment doesn't actually matter anymore. So there's not even like a strategic punishment. There's no reason not to fire Solemn Judgment if you think it'll win you the game. So he's going to 1. I think honestly, Solemn Johnsman's probably going to bounce up and down the list until the end of time. Just because it is a card that is designed a certain way, you know, as the ultimate counter trap no spell. Or trap, actually. But it's a card that's gonna be like this forever, chat. And we can probably get semi-limits and unlimits all on the screen at once, yes. Not a lot of motion on the semi-limited list. You can still see that several Ryziels and several one Malice now, but several Malice tricks are still limited. Runic Fountain's still semi-limited for some ungodly reason. But the new one is Branded Fusion. Brafu was 1, now it is 2. I'm not really happy about this, but they do kind of have an entire marketing engine based around Branded, so whatever. I don't think it actually matters. All the funny ones are the unlimits, which I don't know if we're going anywhere. So, Glow Up Bulb went from 0 to 3. Who cares? Glow Up Bulb, he's back.
It do stuff, but like again, I don't really think I don't think like primarily synchro decks do like that crazy anyway, and like it's better if it's sooner than it is a material card.
Yes, and also honestly, I think the main thing is they killed Barone and they killed the Borrelord. You can't use Glow Up Bulb to just make negates. So, and Hulk is dead. So who cares? Masterpiece, True Draco saying King is back to 3. This is another one that I don't like this fucking guy, but it truly these days can't be said that he's like as powerful as he was, because they did design him to be 2950. So like the ability for decks to make multiple 3K plus assholes who can just run him over is better. They've also like limited a bunch of like back row floodgates that you could tribute for him.
I think also like the pace is just different now, so like you can just kind of outpace a Masterpiece deck anyway.
Yeah, his pop is only once per turn, so it's just one of those things that's just like if you're truly losing to one interaction a turn, then you are gonna lose to lots of things besides Masterpiece. Hey guys, did you know the Ryziel Detonator pop? That's not once per turn. That's like once per chain. He can keep doing that. It's nuts.
You need to yeah, it's like the current state of Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty good, but is like people that actually play like the pro level, it's pretty good. You just have to understand that like you are going to be doing like 5 interactions minimum with each other every turn to like play the game normally. But like if you like that, you're playing the game well.
Yeah, and a lot of people like this format. Morphing Jar's back at 3. Phantom Skyblaster back at 3. Again, those cards did problematic stuff, but don't anymore. Honestly, like Morphing Jar, not even like all the crazy flip support right now is stuff that works with like Mimighoul, and like giving your opponent a Morphing Jar is not even that cool. You can just give them a Flame Princess and make them banish 2 cards from their hand. Ash and Poplar are no longer semi-limited. They're back at 3. Again, the original Sinful Spoils that let you search any like level 1 fire in the game is banned, so the people aren't making Snake Eye anymore. With hitting cards like Appaloosa, like Barone, basically any card that just makes n+1 number of negates with just infinite material. Since all those extra, if you have infinite material, you can make multiple negates cards are getting banned. Decks like Snake Eyes don't do as much anymore. So probably Ash and Poplar to 3 are fine, so long as they don't like uncook OSS and never hopefully uncook Apo, etc. Similar to Morphing to Masterpiece, sorry. Draconic Diagram is no longer limited. That's again, I don't think True. Like they've given True Draco some new support. I don't think Diagram's the problem card. Barrage was limited. They're putting it to 3. Barrage, what? Zodiacs weren't tearing anything up. And then Lightning Storm to 3. I kind of see, like, semiing Lightning Storm is, like, I get, you know, because it could be Feather Duster or Raigeki, so making it 2, you know, and Raigeki was at 3, Feather Duster was at 1. That's, you know, there was something there to be said for, like, the math on the ratios. These days, though, like, a significant number of decks have turn 0 plays, which turn off your Lightning Storm, so it's not... You can't just cram 3 Lightning Storm in your side and you know for a fact you're going to be possibly activating them, right? It's the nature of play has changed a little, so Lightning Storm, you know, requiring you to control no face-up cards is not a guarantee. So I think putting it to 3 is okay. Honestly, they should probably bring back Heavy Storm to 1. You know, there's a couple of things that have been brewed in like Master Duel and the OCG that they still haven't brought over here. MX Saber Invoker, like I said, is one of them. And again, we truly do not need to keep Electromite banned. I feel like somebody in the TCG department thinks that like there's gonna be some content creator guy is gonna appear out of a specter on YouTube with like, you know, multiple millions of followers and write some scathing video about how pendulums suck ass if they unban Electromite. I got news for Konami. That's not going to happen. Nobody cares anymore.
It never will, because Pendulum has always been on the down foot or on the back foot because, one, Pendulum cards are like the least printed card nowadays. They're the least supported card nowadays, and most things are just designed to just outright just fuck over Pendulums easily, and I think it's not even considered as a thing because they just don't want to think about it anymore because they just feel that it's like a negative. They see that it got them like it got them more detractors than like actual game fans. So I think it's just that like on the design side they just don't know what to do with it, or they just don't think it's marketable or as marketable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where like I'm sure that eventually they will, just because I mean we've already been, you know, 10ish years since Arc 5. Like the nostalgia marker will swing. And Konami talked about even pre-COVID, like they had magazine interviews where like they got a big swing in like interest and sales because like the original anime got on Netflix for a while. I don't remember if Yu-Gi-Oh is actually on Netflix right now because streaming rights are dog shit and nobody commits for more than like 6 months. Sometimes it feels like, but like they will eventually like bow to the nostalgia factor. The question is just like I don't know. There are times when I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh is fine in terms of like the overarching rule structure, and then there are times where I'm still like, we could probably use a master rule revision. Like I don't know. I know the formatting's ugly, but I think I said this last week, and I've said it on other events. We probably just need to make the pendulum zones again and stop putting them in the back row. Do make it so that you can only summon pendulums from the extra deck to like the EMZ or zones a Link Monster points to, just because like. The ability to pend infinitely 5 guys every turn if your opponent can't get rid of your scales is like annoying, but the ability for every deck in the universe to stop you from even making scales because you can't interact with something they put in your spell trap zone, which your pendulum zones count as, is also not good and like actively discourages the mechanic. And like I don't know, they still haven't really done enough with the mechanic. Like they make new pendulum decks, but most of them are super xenophobic or weird and don't do enough. Valmonica, like I think was pretty interesting and was decent. I think it was rogue good. I think honestly the reason why people didn't want to play it is because it had names they didn't want to pronounce, and also it involved doing math with counters, which is a thing, by the way, pendulum decks do a lot. Like that's where like Pendy ND comes from and stuff like that is spell counters and shit. We're just
trying a lot of weird mechanics. Pendulum.
It's not
but,
Heck of
like,
Hands.
I feel
God,
like
Enneacraft. Enneacraft uses like counters too. But they use counters like in a weird way. That deck's not really a pendulum deck. It's just I think they wanted the ability to make the monsters also spell traps so they could make them like continuous spells. Like Nemlaria, I think is a really cool concept because, you know, she needs you to have no cards in extra, and you send cards from extra to like get her guys set up. That's cool. but I think that like the days of I think we've proven statistically, looking at the list, the days of Pendulum being the problem are over. It's Link. Chat, spoilers, it's Links. Links have always been the problem, chat. It's always been them. Not actually true. Links, technically, I think when Links started, there weren't enough of them, so they weren't actually a problem yet, but the need for so many Links, I think, caused the problems.
I always look at this, it's like, I think the strongest actual summoning types is Xyz and Links.
It's true, I think. Some people would say for, like, Synchro,
I think they're strong Synchro cards. I think Synchro itself is not the strongest type.
Yeah, and some of that may just be nostalgia for people, like a lot of people's favorite eras during the Synchro era. Synchro, I think, still requires a significant investment in the deck with the way they work. Xyz were always, like, truly brain dead. Look, I have two guys of the same level. They become a new guy. That's it. You're good. You figured it out. Also, I think, like, physically, like, tactilely, stacking the cards under, like, that was a good idea. Like, that's got good game feel. But Links are also problematic. And I think you are correct in that that's, statistically, those are the majority of the cards that are on the ban list from the extra deck are Links and Xyz. Because, like we said, we've learned a lot about generic Xyz.
Because it turns out when you actually give a game a mana source, a material system, you can do effects that are controlled by how many times you can actually fucking pull it off. Like, look at Shockmaster. That it was entirely limited by the fact that it required the materials back when it took a bit, but also the fact that you only could do it so many amount of times, and how many cards you had as material under it. So, like,
well, I think that's an interesting. You've got a point that, like, the materials concept of, like, how many bullets are in your gun, basically, like, that is, like, useful, but also Shockmaster was clearly too overtuned of just, like,
I mean,
declare a
yes,
fucking
I'm just
card
saying,
type.
like, I'm saying that's just what the intention was.
But yes, no, I think that honestly, like, Konami probably overtuned a few of those. Not to mention,
That's.
I think there's something to be said for, like, I mean, that's also true. But I also think there's something to be said for the fact that, like, I think the reason why Yu-Gi-Oh is like, Yu-Gi-Oh is allegedly anyway not selling well right now. Like, historically, like we're depreciating after the COVID boom. Yu-Gi-Oh is not selling well right now in terms of, like, sealed product and stuff, even though the format's the greatest it's been. And I think there's, like, complaints about that. I don't know if it's similar to that comment about, players are correct about how they feel, but they're very rarely right about how to fix it, sort of a thing. I don't know if the thing that people who are online constantly talking about their Yu-Gi-Oh collections, even though they also say they've sold all their Yu-Gi-Oh collections, but they still won't just shut up about it. But, like, I don't know if it's necessarily, like, what people say would, like, reinvigorate product. Like, people are like, oh, you need more chase rarities, or, shit like that. But other people are like, oh, well, but Yu-Gi-Oh has such a a chaff problem. There's no reason to pull packs because the generic cards are bad. That's not always true, by the way. Like, I don't know. There's a decent number of cards that are usually included at low rarity because they were fucking promos they have to print. Literally right now, everybody is like, where the fuck is... It's not even called Spoons. That was another YG organization. Fuck you. But that card got added to Master Duel. I don't remember what it's actually called, but everybody's like, where the fuck is Spoons? The Magistas Do Everything card. It's not in any of the sets because it was a promo for the manga about Magistas, and it's not appeared anywhere, and it's, like, really fuckling the TCG, apparently. And it's like... So, it's one of those classic problems, chat, of, like, so we have this dichotomy, this digression. We expect them to import cards to fill out sets, which are traditionally smaller, in the OCG. There's fewer cards per set, fewer cards per pack. We want to fill those out with bigger packs and more cards by having them import, like, promos and stuff. The problem is that most promos are dog shit, and except when they aren't, and then we need to have those imported, and it's like, well, you can't... we can't be like fucking with the rarities and the pack filler like stuff like that. It's very complex systems. So if you're like, well, we need less filler in the packs, it's like, okay, so do they print fewer cards in the pack? Do you want that model? Would people be happier if they got only 5 cards per pack instead of like 7 or 8, whatever the number is these days? Does that look better?
The cards are bigger.
Well, that's unfortunately not going to happen because that would require them to change theirs. Their Asian TCG standard size, and I don't think they're going to change the playing card size.
No, it's fair. I just wish it'd be nicer to buy. I just think if your cards are bigger, we could make it be easier to read for some people that have issues.
But there's a few other formatting things. I'd love if they brought over the bulleted, but there's stuff going on there. I do think there's something to be said for like the chasiness of the cards. On the one hand, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have like a chronic problem of too many rarities. They do have too many rarities in the OCG, but also they only use like half of them at a given time. Like the OCG experiments with so many stupid ass rarities, only half of which you even see in the TCG, I want to say. But like at the same time, I also want to say, I've talked about this before, that like I think that games like Pokemon have a way better system of like really cool splashy like chase rarities. Like even like outside of the like card game space card games like V Card, which we talked about several times, did streams even on. That originally was very clearly designed by people who were not card game designers. They seem to have gotten their shit together with the reissue, but they had an issue. But like they had
if we play again,
like,
you know which card we have to use.
Well, yeah, there's many we have to try out for the sets. We have to use Let's Play, obviously.
Yeah.
I could probably. I don't remember what Ray does exactly, but we'd have to look it out. I don't know if they've expanded their official tabletop sim model, but like V-Card has like hollow versions of regular cards. They've got extended and full arts. They've got signatures and shit like that. Like, obviously, artist signatures would require Konami to acknowledge that artists exist. Yes, a puzzle. But like full arts, alt arts, expanded stuff. They've tried a little with some of the like the chibi arts and things, but I don't think they do enough with like alternate arts and things. God knows, I don't actually know if there's a regulatory board that decides whether or not they can put for ages 7 and up on their card packs, but like imagine putting, instead of Lost Arts being like a buying sealed product promo at a store, though I think also stores like that, but imagine if like sometimes you could get Lost Arts in packs. There's room for some stuff there that I think Konami could improve on, but I don't know. It's a weird case of like the format's really good, but people say the product's not doing good, and I don't know what exactly we could do to change that. A new master rule might refresh some things, but I think that would mostly just be for like long-term health. And I think having no anime tie-in, the Albaz shorts are cool, but they're like 6 minutes long. They don't count. Having no like proper anime tie-in for core Yu-Gi-Oh! And not importing the version of the game that is having an anime like there's no rush duels. I don't know why they're concerned about that. I think that would be a pretty clean solution to give some fresh air to oldies and also get new people. You could actually appeal to kids and new players with Rush, and then appeal to oldies with TCG, as opposed to the strategy of only appealing to oldies. But that's like most companies on Earth have this problem of appealing only to diehards and don't know how to get fresh blood, even though you can't appeal to diehards forever because that audience will continually shrink, and eventually they will die. Comic books know about this. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, the anime... I started this, so I got really off tangent because I had some shit to get off my chest, I guess. This is our weekly Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. But, like, having no anime backing it, I think means that a lot of the cards are actually, like, designed with intent, right, in sets these days. Whereas, when there were animes airing, you had a lot of pack filler because the anime episodes required the writers to just make up a shitload of cards that did lots of really weird specific things that don't do stuff. I don't know, man. I think the pack filler these days is usually way better than the pack filler from, like, grab a random fucking, GX or even, like, 5Ds or Zexal era sets.
Yeah, because I think, like, most pack filler I know of nowadays is more like, it still does something. Like, usually it's very niche, but usually it's, like, a novelty.
Yeah, like, I think you can argue when there are brand new archetypes, everybody analyzes everything to death these days, so it's like one of those things where you're like, yeah, so there's clearly cards in the archetype that are not the best, but usually when we do these blocks of archetypes, there's some stuff out there. So let me see. Let me see what's in Bruin, for instance. Duod, Doom of Dimensions, is actually, no, it's not even Duod. That was Duelist Advance. Doom of Dimensions is Dude. It literally is. It's a palindrome. No, palindrome sounds like itself. What's same way forwards and backwards? Is that palindrome? I don't remember my funny words. Okay, my brain was correct and I doubted myself. But yeah, it's DOOD. So that's the set that's going to come out soon, like a couple weeks. Yes, it is, dude. First of all, by the way, fuck you, YG organization. You went with Kenran and then you changed it to Magnificestorm. You dumb, stupid assholes. Radiant Typhoon, baby. Way cooler name.
Sometimes organization has cooler naming ideas. I'm real.
No, they don't. Well, actually, sometimes they do, but mostly they don't. I don't know why they.
Just like being a hater after. I feel like you just like being a hater at organizations.
I mean, I do because they deserve it. Because, like, I don't know. I've talked about this before, but way too many people take YG organization way too seriously. They are literally a bunch of. Well, I can't call them exactly unpaid because I'm pretty sure they run ad revenue, which is why they want you to click on their website. But they're not like professional pay structure people. They are amateurs who are doing it for the love of the game, which I appreciate that aspect. But also, you shouldn't take them as an authority because they are not. I don't know if it's been more frequent, but I feel like I've noticed more over the past, like, I want to say, like, 6 months. They'll post, like, their little Twitter blurbs, right? And then follow up, like, 2 hours later with, whoops, sorry, we missed a word. So shout out for them for correcting, but, like, they're in a rush to get this stuff out so that you click on them first and you get served ads and they get ad bucks. Or Elon bucks, whatever works. So, like, they should not be taken as an authority. They should be taken as, a hip fire. And that's okay, but it's just, like I said, some people take them way too seriously, and it's like, they're not official and have never been official.
I guess then it is, like, whatever sources there really sometimes, outside of just, like, learning how to read moon runes.
I mean, I'm not going to say reading moon runes is easy with a game like Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it is definitely one of those things where, like, they could probably not have mistakes if they took the extra couple of hours just to, like, proofread it between a couple of people, and make sure everybody's grammar is correct. Make sure the guy typing out the graphic, like, typed everything correctly. But I don't think they want to do that because, like I said, they're amateurs doing it to get it out first, fast, get the clicks, move on. And sometimes they decide to get weird, like I said. The Magnificestorm thing was a reverse of like Ogdoadic and Abhiss. Everybody hated that they just didn't translate Kenron, and then they translated it as Magnificestorm. They tried to get fancy, and everybody went, I'm not doing that. And then the TCG was like, we got you, fam. Radiant Typhoon. Because it's Mystic Space Typhoon, the archetype, guys. They put Typhoon in there. It's cool. But all those cards are coming out.
And then you can search all Typhoon cards, which I guess...
They might actually do it that way. Let's see. There's, like, the retrain of Dogmatic Forgeries. There's, like, I guess you could call them, like, pack filler in the sense that, like, there's a lot of one-off little supporters. Like there's an extra Canine, there's the extra Dracotel, the extra Yummy. There's, like, 2 new Sulfachords. There's some of that Rose Witch, Black Rose Dragon stuff coming out. But I'm looking at it, like, most of this is archetype based, and then there's a handful of stuff that's not. This shit like Fusion Draft, which Fusion Draft is not super strong. Sphinx of the Cycle is probably technically like pack filler. There's a bunch of like world premiere unique stuff they announced. Disguise the Copycat Hero, Cursed Copycat Noble Arms. Licorice Lily Reaper is like a dark plant synchro. They announced the next phase of RB. It's probably not as cool as people hoped, but it's out there. So like I'm looking at it like I don't think there's actually that much. I think this set list, the spoiler is mostly full. I don't think there's that much quote-unquote pack filler. Like, I don't think you can say that about RB because some of those cards are going to be higher rarity. Like, they're actually distributed like a normal archetype. So they're not, like, chaff. Maybe you don't want to get those ultra rares because the deck's not super good. It does stuff, but it's not, like, crazy good. But, you know, they've spread out a few. It's like the Masterpiece Retrain. God, some of these names are crazy. We got the Mariam Retrain. Her name, by the way, is Mariam Paradox, the True Draco Phoenix Knight. Crazy. I forgot this guy is real. I forgot. Var Efar, the Judge of Baal. A.k.a. Kick God Var Efar. That's so goofus. Anyway. Yeah, MST now negates. But, speaking of guys, not who negate, but little guys that are off the ban list, I pulled up Link Karibo a while ago. I don't really have much to say about him. He's a Karibo, but computer. But he's there. He's a little guy. And since this guy just got off the list, let's remind you what he does. Link Karibo is a Dark Cyburst Link 1, straight bottom arrow, 300 attack, level 1 monster. So he is actually pretty specific, but it says when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you contribute this card, change that opponent's monster attack to 0 until the end of this turn. If this card's in your graveyard, you contribute a level 1 monster, special summon this card. You can use this effect once per turn. So, Link Karibo is an annoying little guy because he takes one of your Link 1s and he can have an attack blanking effect, which is very Karibo-esque, but also if he's in your graveyard, such as if you Link Climb with him, he's free material by tributing another level 1. So he was a problem in Snake Eyes because he let you bridge into some stuff by getting an extra Link monster on board with some arrows to get some extra material, and also possibly trigger your Snake Eye effects when they're sent to graveyard. But now that Snake Eye can't actually make infinite materials, he's probably not that good. He's just a little guy. And now, chat, I have a better question for you. What if this little guy was evil? What if he put on his Mr. Potato Head angry eyes?
And someone, like, adjusted his dial for, like, 20 degrees.
Yeah, he's got his cool little head antenna thing on. You know, I think they just bent his tail.
I think it's also just that his the metal's a bit darker too.
Yeah, that
like,
could be the lighting.
His toe bits are a bit different. His toe bits are also a bit different because there's now like 4. It's now like 4 lines instead of 3.
Yeah, I think is this. Yeah, it's like he's got like new feet hands. I mean, he's a Karibo, so I think those are his feet. He's got his angry eyebrows on.
Yeah.
His angry eyes. And like I said, somebody bent his little Link arrow cable into 90-degree angles. Which is possible to do with those sorts of telescoping rods, but looks uncomfortable. But Linguribo is a dark Cyberse Link 1. He has the left-pointing arrow, which is funny because it's opposite to where his arrow points in his artwork. He still has 300 attack. He is 1 level 4 or lower Cyberse monster. And his rule is when your opponent activates a trap card or quick effect, you contribute him, negate that card. If you do banish it, if it's in your graveyard, you contribute an Adignister that was summoned from the extra deck to summon him back. So this is supposed to be the Adignister version. And there is a main deck version of him they just printed. I don't think we'll get to Adignister tonight. That's okay, Dallas isn't here. We'll save that for that. We can once again have the 10,000 hour episode where we accidentally podcast about JoJo in the middle. But I thought it was only fair if we talked about Linkuribo to mention Linguribo. Because we do have this kind of like Adignister switch thing, which is... At some point, I really do need to like sit down and watch Vrains because I'm not sure I get all the subtleties. I feel like the Adignister stuff is sometimes like an evil mode switch, but also sometimes not. But also, it's weird because most of the Code Talker adjacent Cyberse monsters are already dark.
All I know is that the game kind of goes back and the series goes back and forth on it because they kind of, I think, had to condense and kind of like move around a lot of plot ideas like by
the classic we ran out of money, yeah.
Well, season 3
maybe
is
not
like
run
they just,
out
like,
of money,
crammed
but
so much.
the
Well, season 3, it's like they were getting cans, like crammed as much as they could in there, and it didn't work out.
Hey.
I gotta get going.
all right.
You guys
Okay,
have
bye.
fun.
What was next? So he just slipped into the call with us. But yes, we've got Karibo, and then what if I was fucked up and evil?
Yeah, essentially.
Sorry about the chat. I was double checking my Twitter. This is the Cyber's Beacon. The art's pretty simple. It's a beacon, but in the cyber universe. And it says pretty simply, if you took damage by battle or an opponent's card effect this turn, add a level 4 or lower Cyberse from your deck to your hand. You can only activate Cyberse Beacon once per turn. I included this one because I'm pretty sure it's in one of those structure decks we were talking about last time. But it is kind of a generic Cyberse searcher. It's a weird little guy. I believe there are ways to search maybe Cyberse spell traps somehow. Actually, I gotta check if this token has an art.
Yeah. Because it didn't use Discord for a while, it switched to everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it does that for updates sometimes.
But yeah, just the simple matter of the final season of Brains is just I's the last one left alive. He did simulations from Lightning, and they just all showed everything showed that if the AI survived, humanity would die. And so he just goes into this massive grief spiral, and it's like, hey, and then he just goes after everyone and tries to make himself the enemy of everyone. Hence why the at Ignister. And then each at Ignister is just a version of his friends.
That makes sense, at least.
Yeah. That's That's sort of maybe oversimplifying it, but it is how it is. Anyhow, I'll drop off now.
Oh, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I know that the Saints watch most of the anime, so that's why I said I'm like, I gotta watch Reigns sometime. Today's not that time. But we will do Ad Ignister at some point. You'll see the comment about like the different Ad Ignister monsters are supposed to like represent, friends and stuff. They're very clearly referencing some extra juice. But this is a one-time passcode. This is another super popular card for a couple of reasons. But this is a spell that says Special Summon a Security Token, which is a light Cyberse level 4 with 2k in defense position. You can activate one-time passcode per turn. But that token is unrestricted. And we do have little art of the token. He's a little Greeble Gobble. I'm kind of disappointed by this because I think it should be a digital scapegoat. But the card one-time pass is super cool. Yeah, if you don't know, like, one-time passcode it's honestly not just popular in Cyberse decks. It's popular in lots of decks because it creates a pretty big-ass token for basically for free. And if you don't know, a one-time passcode is, or one-time pass, OTP, is none of that OTP. It's a type of cryptographic thing where, like, literally the password only works once and then never works for decryption again. You input it once and then the message is decrypted. But at a later date, that passcode will never work again.
I just love the tiny little scapegoat on it, though.
Yeah, I know. Like I pulled it up and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a little scapegoat on it. That's so cute. And then it's like security token and it's that guy and I'm just like, oh, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted a little virtual scapegoat.
Yeah.
Also, I wonder.
Like my brain just goes like you hold the card out to the virtual scapegoat. It like bites the card and goes, accepted. Go forward.
Chat may be able to double check this for me. I wonder if one-time passcode was printed after they had to ban Scapegoat. Because Scapegoat was banned for a little bit, and then they errated it to let it come back so that it couldn't be used for link spam. But it would make perfect sense if this guy has a Scapegoat on it, because Scapegoat was, like, the quintessential, like, link climb token card. But it might also just be a coincidence because Scapegoats have been associated with tokens since the beginning of the game, thanks to Scapegoat. Anyway, here's a funny little trap card that's also relevant. A little less this week because we were not talking about... I'm not going to show Decode Talker again, but this is a card that if you played against that one bot in EDO Pro, you would know it because it's from that structure deck.
Oh, no.
Recoded Alive. So Recoded Alive is a trap that says target 1 Link 3 Cyberse monster you control in your graveyard. Banish it. If you do, special summon a Code Talker from your extra deck. If you control no monsters in the EMZ, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target 1 of your banished Code Talkers. Special summon it. Yeah. Like, it's just a way to cycle through your Code Talkers, basically. This was actually reprinted in Crossover Breakers because all the Malice links are Link 3s. I don't think it's super great. I have to check. Is that one guy literally Code Talker at Ignister? Is he Alliance Talker? That might actually be good now. They released some of the new Ad Ignister Dark Cyber stuff in Master Duel chat, and I'm like, I have the gems to pull packs, but I'm like, I kind of don't want to because it's also full of a lot of, like, Magistus ultis and other crap, and, like, the only cards I really want would be the new Code Talker and the backup Ad Ignister Retrain Lady as, like, ultis, and I'm just like, it's not worth it, man. Call me when they fucking do Jush. Come on. Do Jush, do Radiant Typhoon, Master Duel. I'm ready. I will say Cupsy Yummy out loud. By the way, Loth, it's funny, it's just you and me now, because I bet you also have no hesitation. Yeah. But apparently people out there are actually, like, they don't feel like they can be taken seriously if they say Cupsy Yummy in a match of a children's card game.
But they would have no problem saying any of the Malice cards or Madolche cards or any of. Who cares?
No, it's very insecure, and
lean into it.
to poke a little fun at Gage Nim Nim. It's funny, they were doing, I think this was Master Chef. It was some wonky quartet thing. It might have been their Master Saga All Stars. But like he actually talked about how like. He was like, man, I don't know if I had a girlfriend, if she could take it seriously if I showed her my collection with these yummies. This is how I know that... Sorry, that would be really... I don't actually want to start beef with Gage. I was going to joke about it. That's how you know he hasn't known the touch of a woman in a while.
He's even going to watch this shit?
No, he won't hear this. If he did, like genuinely, if he saw this clip on somewhere, I'm sure we'd blow the fuck up. I don't mean anything by it. The phrase of that is in my head because I was rewatching a couple of different people's reactions to Martin Cito Pants' Factorio series, where he makes jokes about, you know, I haven't known the touch of a woman in years, or the start of the third video is, you know, goes to the bottom and it's like the hardest technology of it all is, you know, talk to a woman, and he's like, actually, we haven't figured that one out. So that's just why like that gag is in my head. They're very good videos. You should go watch them. I really hope that the joke at the end of the series is real and he makes a satisfactory video.
I remember trying to get you and Lucky to watch it, and I got you guys to watch the first video, which got the "fuck you, water fills your house."
Yeah. No, we understand "fuck you, water fills your house."
And then I think I tried to get you guys to watch other Martin Cito Pants videos, but he is quite loud.
Yeah, he's got some loud gags, and I think it was just for me. It's because I think you tried to show us like his My Summer Car and stuff. I'm not as interested in those ones. His funnily enough, the videos where he builds shit like the Factorio and obviously City Skylines from the depths. Also, I found very funny.
The fucking editing he did for that one segment, he goes crazy in a chemical plant for no reason.
Yeah, I feel like now that I've actually sat down and watched some videos on some games I like, I'm starting to understand his humor a little better and then like more of his stuff. I think I did like last night's sub because I was like, man, if he makes that Satisfactory video, I gotta be there. But I've watched some of his other stuff. Yes. It's also funny.
Another thing I watched that I've affected Omega Unlucky with.
Yeah. Well, and also it's funny.
Because you remember, you guys didn't watch The Russian Badger, and then eventually I was like, hey guys, watch this.
I don't know if it was literally from you, but I think there were a couple of recommendations that got me to watch him. Yeah, Badger makes good videos. He's very tight. I'm not going to take
credit for that, but
Mart is also very funny because I didn't realize it at the time, but now that I've been watching more of his content, I see it more. But like he apparently is also like pals with Remy of the channel Remy Down Under, so they've done some stuff.
That surprised me.
I mean, you know, they both do videos. They do very different videos, but they've done a few together, like Ready or Not. There is also that one, I haven't watched all of it because it's very painful to watch, but there's that one fucking weird video they've got, which is him, Remy, and two other guys I don't remember. But it's can we beat Wildlands? I don't even remember what fucking Tom Clancy franchise it is. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Can we beat Ghost Recon Wildlands without dying?
Yeah, Spiffing Brits in there.
That's right. Yeah, Spiffing is in that. Yeah, I watched like part of that one, and I'm just like, that's a video that I feel bad about. Like I'm like, oh man, I'm not sure I want to watch all this because I just know they're gonna fucking die for some stupid reason and reset all the way.
Yes.
It's gonna happen, but yeah. So like I said, I watched some of those, and I just That's why the joke's in my head. But also, like, this is how I know that like, I don't think Gage actually is very successful with girls, despite his clear insecurity about it. From what I understand from the internet, women would fucking love Yummy. I could just go to VTubers and start showing them, like, Yummy cards, and they'd be like, oh my god, what is this?
I mean, heck, there was that, what was it? Chinkymation also did that. Like, she looked at Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and the first one she saw was Yummies, and went, "These are adorable," which is the exact reaction.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Yeah.
Because Yummies are fucking adorable. I'm sad I missed it, because I missed out on geeking out about, look at these guys!
Yeah. Sage. I'm sure we'll talk about some more, but they're great little guys. Like I said, I want them to come to fucking Master Duel so I can play them. They'll
Yeah.
probably do Dracotail first because it's like the least popular of the three, and that's usually how Konami does this shit. I have many opinions about Master Duel. I've been playing it for 2 years, and I'm allowed to have opinions about Master Duel, chat. I have like 1,000 fucking hours in it. Like, if you want video games that I'm allowed to have opinions about, I'm allowed to have opinions about Master Duel. I'm allowed to have opinions about Final Fantasy XIV. My opinions about Final Fantasy XIV are pretty straightforward. We're doing fine.
Yeah.
I wish if you're gonna make me do Ridorana so much though for my daily alliance roulettes, could I roll higher than a fucking 20? Please, I would actually like to get the gear from this raid, so I don't have to do it more later. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I haven't been getting fucking clowned on by math, but it helps when I'm the only one when there's no voice call basically, and I could just like think to myself. And even then, sometimes I fuck it up. I'm like, shit, too slow.
Yeah.
I didn't start
Oh,
subtracting
man, I'm
fast
just-
enough.
It's just the things of like I think about the archetypes and types and decks I like, and despite some of the big fuck off dragons I like in Dimension Dragons, there's a lot of decks I like that is just little guys.
And this truly
Morphtronics,
is-
Yummies, Inpachi. That's on a deck, but he's a little guy in my view.
Well, sometimes he's a little guy. Sometimes he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is like, and that's the beauty of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is the thing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has that other card games don't, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets to have an identity by having no identity. This is like a real big problem that Magic is having. Their Universes Beyond sets are like the best selling of all time, but like they are actually at risk of kind of alienating their core fan base because there seems to be a suspicion that they're gonna Fortniteify the game a little too much. They're releasing a few too many sets, and like people are like not vibing with it. I think generally Dallas is correct that it sounds like the sets for Universes Beyond are well designed, but you got to be careful just hitting them so many times. You're going to burn people out. There are purists who are also like, no. But I don't know, the Final Fantasy set was pretty cool. So we're going to talk about the Cynet spell trap. Cynet, which is short for, let me double check the wiki. Yeah, it's they abbreviated Cynet from Cybernet, which is Cybernet, but with no R. I think Cynet works too. But Cynet is basically the generic cyber spell trap support. There are a few cards that specifically call out Cynet spell traps. But there are several of them that get there. We're going to start with a card that, once again, is known if you've played against that one structure deck. It's Cynet Backdoor. The card art is kind of nothing. It's a space-time hole in cyberspace. It's very red.
It just looks like fucking crush card fires.
Yeah, kind of. But so, the way Backdoor works is simple. It's a quick play spell card that says target a Cybers you control, banish it. If you do, add a Cybers from your deck to your hand whose attack is lower than that monster's original attack. During your next standby phase, return that banished monster, the monster banished by that effect to the field, and it can attack directly. You can only activate one Cynet Backdoor per turn. Did they also reprint this in Crossover Breakers? They did. What's this thing? What's this card's rarity in Master Duel? Normal. N. Okay. Sorry, I'm like thinking about funny haha Malice Tech if I can make that deck any more interesting, but yeah, Backdoor is a weird one. The attack directly thing I think doesn't usually matter. Like the game state in 2017 when they first printed it was fairly slow, but it went through a couple iterations. The second time they printed this, because it was a structure deck only card, they printed it in Mystic Fighters, which was Generator, Dragon Maid, and Mathmech. Even by then, I think like for Mathmech stuff was a little weak. I guess, there's the idea that like you might banish your big Chungus, to get some stuff going, but it was probably pretty outdated. I don't think the card's worth a lot by the time we get to Crossover Breakers, but it's funny. Also, while we're loading the next page, if you didn't see it in chat, say was out here talking, and yeah. So no, one-time passcode was printed like 2 years before they actually got Scapegoat. So they just put the little Scapegoat on it because it was cool. It was cute. Okay, there we go. Sorry, my card took a while to load. We are trying to pull up Cynet Fusion chat, but it's taking a little bit. All right, so here's Cynet Fusion chat. I didn't know if we could make polymerization more generic, but we did. I guess there's like some digital effects on the lower part of their bodies as opposed to like the normal swirl of fusion, but it seems just kind of generic. There's a dragon and there's a war man. There's some lightning bolts. Is the lightning bolts what makes it Cynet? No idea. Cynet Fusion says, Fusion summon a Cyber's Fusion monster for your extra deck using monster from your hand or field. Fusion material if you control no monster in your EMZ. You can also banish one Cyber Slink monster from your graveyard as fusion material. So it's a fusion spell that is kind of a miracle fusion, maybe. But it is a Cynet spell trap, so it is super searchable. And I do have the targets for this card listed later. Yawny chat, I'm fucking stretching. We're also, the Yugipedia is loading very slowly. Our next card, another one you've seen a million places. Cynet Mining. Look at those delicious cryptocurrencies.
No.
Cybernet Mining. And they really are very shiny. But yeah, so this Cynet Mining is a Rhoda, but it's a -1. So it's send a card from your hand to the graveyard, add a level 4 or lower Cybers from your deck to your hand, and it's a hard once. So this card is shockingly good in many, many decks. Was a very expensive ad to pick up for Live Twin back in the day, but at least last year they printed it in Quarter Century Bonanza, so there's 4 billion rarities of this, which is good, because like I said, basically the only reason why Signet mining isn't limited, and I don't know if it ever has been limited, but I don't think it will be again in the future, it's Rhoda, it's Bonfire, but also it requires you to discard one and has a hard once, so like, it doesn't matter if you have multiples.
Look, we just really need those bitcoins. Side
We need to mine
coins.
those bitcoins. Those Cybernet coins. They look great. They're so shiny. You know, we're out here mining for crypto.
I know it's angular, but I just think it's got a horseshoe on it.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a C, but it's also actually no, it's broken up. No, it's not broken up. That's weird. It looks like it's broken up in some. It's they got the weird little like C or like open-ended hex or something. YouTube, you doing okay? Yes, the YouTube marker's doing okay. Sorry, like I said, the Wikipedia is being a little slow. Unfortunately, they are sometimes the website is sometimes slowish these days. Ever since their database like blew up. I like how Lust sends you a message that he, has an appointment. Basically, he's got something he's got to do in like 40 minutes, and that's when Wikipedia is like, now we're going to be slow. It's like, okay, I'd like to pick up the pace a little.
Hopefully, it won't be long, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like
It's
to chew through all
tentative.
these Signet cards. In fact, literally, let me start
giving
training
a-
on the next one.
Are they giving a Bitron like a fucking mech body?
Maybe. Let's see. So this is Signet optimization. It is backup operator and backup secretary we talked about last time. They are assembling a little guy who might actually be that. So let me pull this card on screen. So this is Bit Trooper, who is the card that's being featured here. I think they are taking a Bit Ron and assembling a Bit Trooper out of it. I did not
Aw, he
include
looks
Bit Trooper
adorable.
last time. Yeah, he's great. He's a little guy. I didn't say Cybers. He is specifically for that, like, level 2 type Cybers stuff to summon himself, which I do believe both the Bitrons are. So, yeah, it probably looks like they're transforming. So, yeah, backup operator and backup secretary are apparently making this guy. Signet optimization
Sorry, that really
is...
took me by surprise.
I know, it took me by surprise. Signet optimization is a continuous spell card that says, if your Code Talker monster battles, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step, turns all your guys into Armades. During your main phase, you can, immediately after this effect revolves, normal summon a Cybers monster. Also, you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Cybers. Even if this card leaves the field, you can only use this effect of optimization once per turn. So, optimization, in case you couldn't tell, this optimizing card came out a little later. But optimization is just one of those generically good cards for Code Talkers. It does have generic Cyber support, but obviously it's, also makes all your Code Talker boys, like I said, Armades. So it's a decent one to include. That's what's funny. We get to see a lot of our boys out. So this next one is Signet Recovery. Cybernet Recover. So it shows Cyber's white hat being reconstituted from the I don't actually. I'm sure they have a name for it in the anime. What the like Link Arrow portal is, but yeah, from the cyberspace portal, he's being revived. He's coming back, and he's mad. You messed up his hat, partner. You done doggone did it now, son. Sorry, I'm detecting funny streamer beef. It's very funny.
Oh
So
no.
apparently there's going to be a $600 peak tournament like next weekend. One of the teams is going to be Russian Badger Bada Heavenly Skulker. Sounds about right, right?
Yeah.
They're named Team Gravity. So apparently the people running the event, Luminara, just announced introducing Team Heavenly Sucks. Mega Fox, August Anomaly, Kruzman, and Freem. I'm just like, wow, damn. Okay. I'm sure I'll see some clips of that shit on YouTube. Okay. Sorry, that one also sucked me out. Anyway, Signet Recovery is another continuous spell. It just says if a Link monster you control is destroyed by another opponent's card effect. Target a monster in your graveyard, except a Link monster, special summon in a defense position. You need this effect once per turn. This one's okay, but it's only been ever printed in one starter deck, so you can tell that like Konami's clearly not like going ham. It's an okay recovery trick, but obviously recovering a non-Link monster when your Link monster is popped is like not optimal. Also, it's funny. I don't remember what it does, but the next card is called Signet Refresh. So we'll see if it does something that's just Signet Recovery but better when the page finishes loading. I will say that's a funny thing. Like looking at where like the letters are distributed, there's like one Signet backdoor, there's a Signet fusion, mining optimization. There's like 6 cards named Signet with an R word. And then later, they were like C's for the alliteration. So, like, years later, they released cards like Signet Cascade, Signet Codec, etc. So there's like 5 of those. Wow, sorry. Signet Refresh. There we go. As I was just about to complain, it finished loading. I was going to say the next card after Signet Refresh loaded before Signet Refresh. Anyway. Signet Refresh, the art's very generic. I don't even know what it's necessarily depicting. I guess the little cyber hexagons are being repaired?
Gotta speed up the playback to catch up.
Yeah.
I wish I could understand what's happening here.
No, it's just doing something. This is a normal trap that says when an opponent's Cyberse monster declares an attack, destroy all monsters in the main monster zones. During the end phase of this turn, special summon from the graveyard as many Cyberse Link monsters as possible to their owner's fields that were destroyed by this effect. When your opponent's monster activates its effect, banish this card from your graveyard. Cyberse Links are unaffected by card effect except they're until the end of this turn. This card's bad. This card's like main monster zone only. Mirror Force if your opponent has Cyberse monsters. Just play Mirror Force, dog. I
mean, if this came out in MR4, I guess that makes sense.
It did, but it was like a year in. This is like 2018. 2017 is when MR4 started. So, like, I guess, but like, honestly, the graveyard effect is much better to just be like, oh, your opponent's activating their monster effects. All your Cyberse Link monsters are unaffected for a turn. But then it's like, do I want to bin this trap card just to play this weird battle trick? No, like I genuinely think people were actually like during MR4 had slow enough formats that you could unironically just play Mirror Forces. I know for a fact when I was playing Trickstar, I was playing Blazing. Because that burn
good old
damage.
Blazing.
So this next card, which is slightly more sensical, is, as I said before, Cyber's Regression, which is actually like... At least I can follow what the hell that's supposed to be. You know, there's a weird data card thing that's being, you know, rebuilt. Unfortunately, I think the main reason why this card's not good is because it's a trap card. Regression is a normal trap that says, if you special summon a link, target a card on the field, destroy it, then draw one. You can only activate once per turn. That's the thing you're going to be doing in these decks, but it's just like, this is clearly for MR4 type stuff. Where, like, you're going to be playing slower games where, like, your opponent might have to actually take a couple turns to get enough pieces on the board. Get their link arrows right. And you know, it does work if you have some effect on your opponent's turn to special summon a link monster, but still, it's kind of oddball.
Yeah. Could be better, but yeah.
You know, I don't think I'd play it now because, like I said, it requires you to special summon a monster, but it's a trap card, so you got to set it first. I think there are you know, literally you could just play Raigeki Break. You know, there are other like trap cards which just say target one, pop one. You know, some even let you draw cards. So there's stuff out there you could do, but it's a neat concept. Signet Ritual. Because, yes, we have to get all the special summoning types in. So, Cybers have a generic Ritual. They also have, much like they have a generic Fusion. Signet Rituals just says you can use this ritual to summon any Cybers Ritual monster. You must tribute monster from the hand of field whose total levels equal or exceed the level. If you control no monsters, banish this card and one Ritual monster from the graveyard. Special summon 2 Signet tokens, which are Light Cybers level 4s, which are 0/0. You can't activate this turn. The card is sent to the graveyard. This is cool. I think, rather than that token effect, so you can, like, link climb while you're also playing your Ritual deck, I think they should have done a link Ritual card that lets you substitute link ratings for rituals. You know, lets you treat the link rating of a monster as the level for ritual summoning. Anyway.
That would have been nice.
Would have been cute. That said,
Yeah.
This card is still, like... This card is actually playable in multiple decks because it is any Cybers Ritual monster. The Libromancers, for instance, are Cybers Rituals. There's also a Ritual at Ignister. There's a couple of Cybers Ritual monsters we'll talk about later. So it's usable because it's a Signet. It's searchable. It's a Ritual spell, so it's searchable. Like, it's got plays. I do kind of like what they're going for with, like, the old school, like, Ritual ring effect. But Cybers. Like, literally, this is the graphic that Master Duel plays when you Ritual summon. You know, with, like, the ring filling up with fire. So, like, that's neat. But yeah, nothing else to say about that. Let's grab our next boy. I think there's another one that might be in the structure deck. Let me... Nope. Didn't copy correctly. Hold on, chat. There we go. It was loaded, but I wasn't grabbing it. Signet Rollback. Let me see. Is that in that structure deck? No, this was in Cyberstorm X. Oh, this card's actually... Signet Rollback is actually new. I should have put this lower on the list. This card reads like an old card. And who knows? Maybe it's an anime print that they finally got to. It just shows Decode Talker doing the thing.
Yeah, he's doing a thing.
So this says target one of your banished Cyber monsters, special summon it. During your main phase, if your LP are 2,000 or less, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target 2 banished Cyber monsters, add them to your hand. You get each effective rollback once per turn. Is this a normal in Master Duel? I should play this shit in fucking Malice. This is just free extension in Malice. Your guys are already banished. But I think the reason why I didn't realize this card was like from 2023 is this reads like a card that could have been printed anywhere in the past like 10 years if Cybers were actually 10 years old. It's pretty normal, and the 2000 or less feels like an anime effect. So it's interesting, but yeah, no, Signet Rollback is just fucking. It's a card that's like shockingly new. It's like 2 years old. Now, we've had first field spell, chat, but what about second field spell?
No.
That's right, they did. They printed another one. The first field spell was our cover card last time. I think it was Signet Universe. This is Signet Storm. The Data Storm or the Cybernet Storm is like a thing. That's even the pack name from Master Duel, Soldiers from the Storm. It's a Cyber Storm. That's what it is. It's a digital storm. But the cute thing about this one is so this field spell actually is more about links than Cybers, but does have some Cybers effects. So first of all linked monsters gain 500 attack and defense. So that's all monsters that have a link monster pointing to them are pointed to a link monster. Link summons of link monsters can't be negated. Once per chain, if you take 2,000 or more battle or effect damage, shuffle the face down cards in your extra deck. Excavate the top card. If it's a Cybers link monster, special summon it. Otherwise, return it to the extra deck. The funniest shit in the world. Shuffle your extra deck. That's so goofy. Give me more of that shit.
I think there's only rarely a few cards that do something similar to that.
Yeah, generally the order of your extra deck doesn't matter, so I think this is the only one where they try to make it matter, but it also doesn't matter because if you're playing Signet Storm, you're playing an all Cybers deck. Come on.
Yeah.
Like I know that it's technically generic for links, but you're playing it in a Cybers deck. But it's very funny. It was only printed once in a structure deck, so you can tell it's not that great. So let's speed run some of those generic extra deck boys, and then we get to talk about Code Talkers for once. I don't know if we'll get to... Actually, hold on. How long are we taking? I feel like because Lost got a thing that may or may not take some time, I'm, like, feeling about the time crunch. Really an hour and a half. We'll probably get to Firewall Dragon.
Yay.
We don't really have any plans. We beat Abiotic Factor. I don't know what else we'd be doing with our life.
More about it now.
No, not yet. Though, I haven't seen a lot of... I know you showed some videos of some content creators. I should see if I recognize any of them with, like, some highlights. But I've not actually seen a lot of people in my circle streaming Abiotic. Which is a little bit of a shame, because it doesn't seem like a game that's, like, too intense to beat. We've been playing it, what? Like, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Admittedly, with more people, you get more done, but still. First, though, Cybus Magician.
Yeah, and to be fair, Lucky and I did a lot of just grabbing of materials.
Yeah, we grind it out. But still. Anyway, Cybers Magician is a Cybers Ritual monster. He looks like a Cybers Magician. He's I think supposed to be what if Dark Magician was in Tron.
Yeah.
He's got some weird
vibe.
He's got some weird green colors for no reason. He's got some Tron lines. He's got a weird stick. The stick has weird hologram stuff coming off it. He is a Dark Cybers level 7, 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense. As I said before, he is a Ritual. You can Ritual summon this card with Signet Ritual. Any damage you take is halved. You can't have the same damage twice this way. So if you are already under a halving effect, you can't double up. While you control a Link monster, monster opponent controls cannot target monsters you control for attacks except this one. Your opponent can't target monsters you control card effect except this one. This card battles a Link monster. It gains 1,000. If this card in your possession is destroyed, add a Cybers from your deck to your hand. Cute. Like really cute to try and build like a Cyberse ritual like centerpiece. Wants you to control Link monsters. Wants to battle Link monsters. Since Link monsters are no longer guaranteed, this isn't that great. I think there's room for Cyberse ritual strategies, but this guy's not really the strongest he was. But cool concept. Definitely feels a little bit like though that this felt kind of like an anime solution card, you know?
Yeah, the kind of thing. What was it? Was it Legacy of the Duelist or something would force you to try to win one of those story games with?
Yeah, that was Legacy of the Duelist. Did not have a fun time with that game sometimes.
Yeah, I remember you just going, "Why? Why are you trying to recreate the anime when the thing is shuffled at random?"
I know, yeah, because it sucked. It sucked because they would give you anime decks, and try to make you do specific strategies, but like you were not optimized, so you would just hold like bricks. I think I'm a better Yugist. I should run that game again and see. I will say one thing that's very fun. I did like that you can reverse those duels. Those are also not balanced, but it's funny. But they did print another one of these Cyberse named ritual cards. This one might have seen a little more play because she's a little newer. This is... Whoop, lost my cursor for a second. Cyberse Sage. And so there's two important things about this card. Well, several, but Cyberse Sage... She's kind of cute. That's cool. So, Loth, this may surprise you, but apparently they were burned so bad by Relinquished. Cyberse Sage is a level 1 Dark Cyberse Ritual. She was printed in 2023, so she's pretty new. They had not printed another level 1 ritual since Relinquished. Literally 20 years passed.
That's only this guy. Nothing bad can happen. Oh.
So she's 0/0. She's level 1. But also, Cyberse Sage is a ritual tuner, which is also a super unexplored niche. I believe the only other ritual tuner is the Magic-y one, Mech Musket Betos Busta. That feels like an unexplored niche. I think we could do a little more with that. That's funny. But you can ritual summon this card with Signet Ritual. During your main phase, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials mentioned on it from your field or graveyard, including a Cyberse. If this card sends to the graveyard as synchro material, choose a Cyberse monster or ritual spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You're going to use each effect once per turn. I don't think that, like, there's not actually a, like, Cyberse soup deck that's, like, actually, like, Link Synchro Ritual and fusion summoning, but if that deck existed, Sage would be pretty good in it. She names Signet Ritual, so she like works with all your generic ritual support, that requires searching. She lets you perform a fusion summon by banishing. She is a miracle fusion, just so long as you use a Cyberse. And also, if you use her as a tuner, she's extension. Add back the ritual spell you used or one of your Cyberse monsters. Like, this has the bones of being a good card, but is not really doing anything. And by the way, this does actually go to our point earlier, right? We were talking about, like, pack filler. Cyberstorm Access, I think, was kind of, like, themed around some more generic cyber stuff. That's where they printed, the Firewall Dragon, who's back and bigger than ever. They had some of the Libromancer stuff in there for sure. But, like, technically, I would argue that Cyberse Sage is a pack filler. She's a cheap common. The deck that she falls into, like, didn't materialize on its own, but she's a good card to have in bulk. There's one more card who mentions Signet Ritual. He's not as cool as Sage and doesn't have as much going for him, I think, as Magician either. But they made another one of these guys, another Paladin. Paladin of the Storm Dragon.
Ah, yes.
It's a guy riding a baby firewall dragon. This card is not a firewall card, though, despite the fact that there's a firewall dragon on him. He's fucking weird. This card does nothing for firewall dragon action. Actually, no, wait. I think there is one firewall main deck monster they made that is level 5. You'll see why I said that in a minute. But yeah, this card's not great. So this is a level 4 Cyberse Ritual, light, actually, 1900 attack, 900 defense. You can ritual summon this with Signet Ritual. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a monster, return that monster to the hand. That's a funny effect, but there are other cards that do that. You can tribute this card, special summon on level 5 or higher Cyberse from your hand or deck, but it can't activate its effects this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. And yeah, guess what? I just don't think there's that many good Cyberse level 5 or higher for you to be summoning. Like, there are some of the boys out there that are good, but summoning them, you know, I guess you could use it to go into, like, Parallel Exceed. There's literally 29 of them, chat. There's a couple of Salomon Greats, but I don't think they're good. Parallel Exceed is funny. Probably the best bet would be some of the big Adignisters. Several of those are high level. But yeah, I don't know why you'd run a ritual package to do that. So yeah, this guy is a paladin of a blah 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 dragon that doesn't even summon the dragon that he's riding. What a poser.
Yeah. You are part of a series of weird gimmick guys, and you're not even doing the gimmick you're known for. What the fuck?
Back in the day, chat, Paladin of White Dragon was actually like a tech, like that was actually a guy you could use in Blue Eyes because he summoned Blue Eyes, and shit like that. Red Eyes Ritual has never really been good because Red Eyes, the Dragon Lord is not great because he's level 8. I don't know why they've done this. But now let's talk about their fusion monsters. This guy you probably heard of, chat. This guy is a big U. If you watch shit like Table 500s or Dualtaning or anything like that, this is a card that causes issues. I will pull up his baby form as well. So Big Boy is Cyberse Clock Dragon. Little form is Clock Wyvern. I bring up Clock Wyvern because Cyberse Clock Dragon I mentioned is a fusion monster. One of his materials is Clock Wyvern. Requires Clock Wyvern.
Oh, man, I remember trying to make this guy work in our prog, and it didn't work out.
No, he's funny, but, like, is kind of a gimmick. So, Cyberse Clock Dragon is a dark Cyberse fusion monster, even though he has dragon in his name. He's level 7. He's got 25 2K, so he's got, you know, ace stats. His materials are Clock Wyvern and one or more Link monsters. And then this card says, when this card is fusion summoned, send cards to the top of your deck to your graveyard equal to the total Link rating of materials used for this card's fusion summon. If you do, until the end of the next turn, other monsters you control can't attack, but this card gains 1,000 attack for each card in the graveyard by this effect. While you control Link monster, your opponent's monster can't target monsters you control for attacks, and your monster can't target other monsters you control card effects. If this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard, add any spell from your deck to your hand. Any of them. And Clock Wyvern is a Wind Cyberse, level 4, 1800 attack, 1000 defense. And he says, well, if this card's normal or special, you can have his attack if you do special summon a token. Clock Dragon does a lot of stuff. It's basically a great way to make a guy with, like, a metric fuck ton of attack and also send a shitload of cards to the graveyard. Doing that in a limited format is tough, but in constructed formats, like we've said, you've probably seen him on shit like Table 500, like Dualtaning, other shit like that. Because he is, like, super stonks. Art-wise, I mean, for a Cyberse Dragon, he's a pretty cool guy. Like, it's purple. Does kind of have, you know, be careful who you make fun of in high school energy. because Wyvern's just a Weedle guy, and then he's like, I'm big now.
Just the fucking glow up from one to the other, and it's like, huh?
This is a Digimon-ass evolution.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it does like the whole like turn into like a weird egg and then just cracks, and then it's like, oh, I'm come out like this. It's like, wait, how?
Got knives for wings. Got 4 eyes now. Anyway, they added one more of these cards later. That's another good one. We should technically talk about a different card first, but I'll talk about this guy first. This is D-Save Worm. Probably related to Dual Assemb Worm, but different. This card is another card from Cyberstorm Access. He was printed in 2023, so you could tell because like this is a super 2023 art style. Like he's so shiny. I'm not sure why he has a lot of
What
cancel
the
markers on him, but
fuck?
like, yeah, he's a little bit of a weird guy.
Is this meant to be the upgrade?
Probably, like, I don't know exactly what we're going on here. His name is Worm with a U, so he's probably related to, like, the Lindworm, which is usually drawn, like, with only 2 sets of limbs. So he's got 2 big arms and no legs. He's just some kind of weird robot dragon guy with TV screens in his chest.
Yeah. Like, we joked about Digimon-ass evolution before. This looks like one. But not in the good way.
No, it's a little busy. And like I said, he's very like slick and shiny, and I'm kind of like, okay, I guess that works, but it looks different from the other art styles. Anyway, Cyberse D-Save Worm is a Cyberse Dark Fusion level 6, 2300 attack, 1500 defense. 1 Cyberse monster and 1 Cyberse Ritual Fusion Synchro Xyz or Link monster, so 1 extra deck monster and 1 regular Cyberse monster. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand. Then you can make this card's level become the same as that monster. When your opponent activates a spell trap card or effect and you control a Link 4 or higher Cyberse, banish this card from your field or graveyard and negate it. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, this is another funny bridge card. Like, it lets you play kind of like I said, that there is room for, like, generic Cyberse Xyz. This lets you level fix for that sort of thing. Lets you special summon extra guys so you can do, like, Link plays. Does have a utility in the graveyard, and is a fun card to, like, summon off of, like, Cyber Sage or Cynet Fusion. But it's another one of those cards that, like, I feel like doesn't have a home.
No. No, it doesn't.
Like, it's a cool concept, but it's not... It's a funny card to use, but it doesn't actually have a deck to be played in. But you could see it being played in a deck someday. Just not today. Unlike fucking Paladin of the Storm Dragon is just fucking nothing. He's nobody. Alright, everybody, be warned. I may give you some PTSD. But remember, this is just a virtual guy. He's not gonna do Dragon Out, Lion In. Actually, no, it's Goat's voice. Anyway, it's Duplex or Chimera. And it is just a Tron Chimera.
Yeah.
Also, he has action figure, blaster guns for some reason. Like, those little like spikes look like you push a button and they shoot out, right, chat? It's weird. Anyway, I think this was your other, big generic Cynet Fusion target for a while. Deplexer Chimera is a light Cyberse Fusion, level 5, 2000 attack, 800 defense. It's just any 2 Cyberse monsters. Once per turn, you contribute a Cyberse monster. Spell traps and their effects can't be activated during the battle phase of this turn. If this fusion summon monster sent to your graveyard, target a Cynet fusion and a Cyberse in your graveyard. Accept this card, add him to your hand. You can use this effect once per turn. This is another one that's kind of like cute, but obviously like went out of phase very rapidly as the nature of the battle phase has kind of changed. Even today, when you have battle phase heavy decks, you're usually not worrying about your opponent actually activating spell traps. You know, you've probably cleaned them up or set up before. But it does name check Cynet Fusion, so it's supposed to, like... I think you're supposed to, like, fuse him, tribute himself, block out the battle phase, add back a Cyberse monster, and then start summoning to make a big guy. But it just seems like a little resource intense.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it.
And chat, this may shock you, but there aren't that many Cyberse fusions. I've shown you the 3 ones that are generic, one of which, like I said, is only a couple of years old. The rest is there's an Adignister who's a fusion, because that's another thing. It's like there's an Adignister of every type. And there's a Salamangreat of, like, every extra deck type and a ritual. So if we ever do the Salad episode, which we will probably do at some point, we'll talk about those then. But, like, there's not a lot. There's not even, I think, yeah, if this is correct, there is no Firewall Fusion monster. I think there's a Firewall of every other extra deck type, but they never made a Firewall Fusion. Which seems like a little bit of a missed opportunity. All right, I have to hope this art loads for you before you gotta take a little break ski. This is Cyberse Reminder. Look at this Transformer ass guy, chat. Look at this bootleg ass. What's the chat? You probably know. What's the original toy line from Japan that Transformers are technically a bootleg of? This guy's from that shit. What? Huh? What?
Yeah, no, yeah. Just
like I can't even say he's a Gundam because I don't think his waist is skinny enough. He's a Transformer.
Diaclone?
Diaclone, thank you. That's one. That's technically it's one of them. There were the reason why some of the toys are small is that they're technically Hasbro licensed 2 separate toy lines that happened in Japan. One was vehicles that were big, and the other was like life-size version of objects. This is why Megatron is a gun. Or was a gun, I should say. They've actually made Megatron a lot of things over the years, but yeah.
A dinosaur.
Diaclone is one of them. But yeah, no, this guy looks like a Transformer. I appreciate that he's got 2 huge-ass pile bunkers. Terrible builds in Armored Core, but funny. I guess he is the one who Cynet mines because he's got the bunkers and he's scanning the Bitcoin.
He just reminds me of a weird sound wave with a cop aesthetic, and I don't know why.
Cop wave.
Yeah, like just the small bits of red and light blue just make me go cop.
Yeah, his color palette's a little weird. I don't know if I like this guy. This guy is a rank 3 light Cyberse Xyz, 1800 attack, 800 defense. He is technically generic. He's 2 level 3 monsters. Unfortunately, I don't actually think there is a level 3 access Cyberse deck that would play this guy, because that would be Salad, I guess. But Salad has an infinitely better Xyz monster. But this does say you can detach one material from this card, target a Cynet spell trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand, so he is, Cyberse Cynet adjacent. If the Xyz summoned card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's monster zone, special summon 2 level 4 Cyberse monsters, different names from your deck, but their effects are negated. You only use each effect once per turn. You can't special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate either of this card's effects except Cyberse. So it's not a good generic rank 3 because it locks you to Cyberse stuff. And it lets you... Here's the problem, chat. This card is meant to summon 2 level 4 Cyberse monsters, so you can do that. I can't make Cyber's Reminder in a level 4 Cyber stack. That would require level 3 Cybers. What am I playing? Like I said, it feels like a weird bootleg for, like, Salamangreat, but again, you just don't... Salamangreat just sucked up that they couldn't make Mirage Stalio. Like, you just don't play your rank 3 Axis then. Alright, let's round that out with a couple of synchros, and then we'll talk about the talkers.
No, well, it's 11 a.m. for me, so I should be getting the phone call soon.
Yep. First, Cyber's Integrator. He's some kind of Cyber's spaceship with a cube. The cube is slightly off-center, and it irks me. But this is a level 3 light Cyber's Synchro. 1000, 1000. One tuner, one more non-tuner monsters. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon a Cyber's Tuner from your hand or graveyard in defense position. But you can't special summon the rest of the turn of Cybers. If the special summon card sends the graveyard, draw a card. You can use each effect once per turn. So, again, I guess, like, this is, like, you're supposed to, like, synchro into this guy and then summon back a guy, like, find a level 3 Cyber's Tuner, and then you can make, what's his face?
Bye.
Alright. Loth will be away for a little bit. What was that guy? Cyber's Reminder. I don't know, man. It's weird. I guess it lets you, like, instantly synchro climb in Cybers. But I don't know how useful it is. I mean, it does mean, like, if you synchro into this with, like, Sage, you're getting a shitload of advantage. But I don't know, chat. Let's talk about a guy who's probably cooler. Like I said, I like that. I do want to say I like that Konami has tried to give Cybers kind of like generic tools to stand on their own, but it also feels like the actual Cybers archetypes are so good that standing on your own doesn't work, and so you would just play these inside of another deck that, you know, like a Code Talker engine that makes Code Talkers, or a Firewall engine that makes Firewall, even though there's not really enough Firewall cards to play like a quote-unquote Firewall engine. Or you just play it in Salamangreat, or Marincess, or the other, you know, Ad Ignister. The problem is that all those decks have really good signature extra deck monsters, so, like, I don't know if Cyber's Integrator has a home. Microchanger. Microchanger and Diaclone, thank you. Yeah, no, if people didn't know, I knew this. The original Transformers are licensed from a Japanese toy line by Takara Toys. And then they came up with the lore and stuff. Sorry, it's me, Len Aluyon. Maybe I won't do Firewall today. Maybe we'll do Firewall and Ad Ignister as one episode next time. Just keep yapping about cyber stuff. Anyway, chat, here's a weird one for you. You remember that Clock Dragon guy? What if he was white? This is Cyber's Quantum Dragon. That implies to me that eventually they're going to make other Cyber's dragons that do stuff, but they haven't. So, anyway. Cyber's Quantum Dragon is the Synchro version. Sorry, fucking with the music. But yeah, this is Cyber's Quantum Dragon. He's kind of cool. I think they smoothed out some of the lines from Clock Dragon, but he's very much just Clock Dragon white mode. He's got the double eyes. He's got kind of the crystalline body. He's still looking cool, but makes me wonder where the rest of the Cyber's dragons are, I guess, that are not dragons. Quantum Dragon is a Dock Cyber Synchro, level 7, 25 2K. Very common point you'll notice with a lot of these Cyber's generic guys. It's completely generic. It's one tuner and one non-tuner monsters. While you control link monsters, your opponent can't target monsters you control for attack except this one. Your opponent can't target monsters you control with card effects except this one. It seems like there's a lot of, like, those guys having similar effects. Once per turn... at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can return that monster to the hand. Also, this monster can make a second attack in a row, because normally if you go return to hand, you can't always redeclare. Redeclaring is very finicky. Sorry, I'm yawning and stretching, chat. I'm stretching and yawning. Ugh. This is another one. Like, this guy's fun. The problem is that there aren't a lot of Cyber's tuners. And the decks that are Cyber's tuner focused are like Mathmech, which makes 8s and 12s, and also their guys are good. Like, they don't need the help. So I don't know. It's another one that's like, this is a cool concept. This one's pretty early too. This was like 2019 in Savage Strike, but it doesn't really have a home. He does kind of have shooting star-esque wings. So it's like, it's a cool looking card art, but he doesn't get the extra steez. All right, I'll make sure I don't talk about access code while Loth's still muted up. Because, like I said before, there is a... Whoop, sorry, bad gateway. It's okay, we'll be bamboozled by loading. I got a 502 bad gateway. We're reloading. But yeah, so there's a whole batch of second wave code talkers. Like I said, technically some of those are different. All right, Loth says he's just taking a bio break. So let me set about grabbing access code. I might take a bio break myself. If this thing don't load good. Can't actually show some of these guys alt art because he got a new alt art in Master Duel right now. Right meow. That's smaller. there's the proper higher res. All right, here he is, chat. Mr. Ends your game. Alright, I'm also going to run and do a bio real quick, chat. I'll be right back. I'm going to definitely mute so Loth doesn't have to entertain you when I'm back. And we're back.
Whoa.
Yes.
I leave my call, come back from the toilet, and see this asshole.
That's what we're aiming for.
I forgot that I unmuted the stream at some point to see if the stream could hear me, and I was flashbanged by my own voice again.
Rip. But yeah, it's
I'm
Accesscode
just
Tucker.
not used to hearing it.
Yeah.
I sound very nerdy when I hear my own voice. It's weird.
Yeah, I got over that one.
And
I do
yeah,
think usually
it's
you sound lower to yourself because of resonance or something.
I feel like I sound higher.
No, I mean like when you hear yourself speaking normally.
I can kind of see that. But, okay. This guy can go to hell. His friends can go to hell. His family can go to hell. I hope he burns.
Yeah, it is Accesscode Tucker, Mr. Ends Your Game. This guy was super annoying for many years. He is arguably still annoying, though I do kind of feel like... he's still not as popular.
What's that? You've managed to somehow get past all of fucking Sky Striker's nonsense? Well, look at all these guys we have in the graveyard. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like, great, I finally found a way to get out of here with my shitty Rogue Zeok deck. Oh, never mind. You're just gonna do this.
Now, this guy, unfortunately, I mentioned this to you before, Loth, I think, when we were planning on talking on it. I think Access Code Talker's time to go to the ban list has been missed. Just because these days, like, the kind of decks that play him aren't out there. But this guy was a real menace for several years, for a lot of reasons. So Access Code Talker here, design-wise, he's meant to be the upgraded form of Decode Talker. He's Decode Talker, but shinier. He's got white armor on. His gold is bigger, but he's still got the kind of purple bodysuit underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a sword, he has a big old spear, a big old lance. But this guy's still a Dark Cybers, Link 4, the first Code Talker Link 4. He has, plus-shaped arrows. Now, for a Link 4, he only has 2,300 attack, but you'll see why in a second. He requires 2+ effect monsters, so he is super generic and super easy to make if you're Link climbing. But also can just be made with 4 guys, so long as they're effect monsters. So, first of all, Access Code Talker says your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to this card's effect activations. If this card is Link summoned, target one Link monster that is used as Link material gains attack equal to that Link monster's, or that monster's Link rating times 1,000. Typically, this is 2k, but if you're playing this deck real good, you can make that 3k. Also, you can banish one Link monster from your field or graveyard, destroy one card your opponent controls, and for the rest of this turn, you can't banish monsters with the same attribute to activate the effects of Access Code Talker. So, all the Code Talkers are different attributes. There's a whole sub-theme with the Adignisters and the the Ignis AI characters in Vrains of all the 6 different attributes. So, Access Code Talker has a funny thing he does where he can banish different attributes. So if you're actually playing a Code Talker deck, you might actually have some guys with some different attributes to banish. Unfortunately, like Loth also said, this guy was really good as a cleanup tool in Sky Striker if you needed to end the game. You have a lot of attributes. Several decks also made lots of attributes to give him extra stuff. But honestly, one banish that your opponent can't respond to, or one destruction, one non-targeting destruction that your opponent can't respond to, is still pretty good.
Yeah,
maybe
just
2 is fine.
Like there was rarely things that you can do something and it's like not if you can't respond to this, and rarely. Every time you see it can't respond, it's like always an asshole like you.
Yeah, I don't think they actually like it's like Super Poly. Like, yeah, Super Poly is a really annoying card on its own, but also the fact that your opponent activates Super Polymerization, you're just like, oh wait, I can. Oh right, Super Poly rules. I can't do anything. Access Code's kind of the same way. Like, even if it was just a banish a Cybers or banish a Link monster for a non-targeting pop 1, that would already be pretty bad. The fact that it's also like, by the way, you can't respond to this. It's like, okay. You basically have to snipe him. Good.
Go. Oh. It's shit like this that makes me go, okay, so this guy's boss monster got to come out with a bunch of dumbass effects, and then I look over at Zeok and all the nerfs he got, and just not able to do a lot of things. I'm like, yeah, great, cool, thanks, I love it.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think they had to do the unrespond thing. I mean, maybe in the anime they did. I don't know, but yeah, it's like it's really rude. But yeah, this guy is the ultimate board cleaner.
Sorry, just quickly, stuff like Super Poly is why I started having to run Super Poly in my deck, because it's like, you're fighting Branded, great, they use your dragons to make dragons. There's nothing you can do about it. So I started pulling in Super Poly to use their dragons to make my dragons, because fuck them.
And, it's the world goes round. But yeah, I said before, Access Code Talker is really the ultimate board cleaning tool. You will be making him at least 43, if not 53. If you're making this deck properly, you will. will likely have at least one banish, if not multiple attributes of Link Monster banishes. And it's just a great way to be like, okay, time to end the game. I've got a big guy. You don't have a board anymore. Just, pop all your opponent's shit, go to battle phase, clean up. And I do want to say, I've talked about this before, I think it's important that decks do have access to a card whereby you win the game, because winning the game is important, especially now that they've altered the time rules, Like, having the ability to go, okay, I'm summoning this guy, I'm attacking you, the game is ending. That's important, but Accesscode's, like, really annoying way to do it. He's incredibly generic. There are decks that can't play him, and I do actually think, like, again, another reason why I think his time to be banned is past. They have actually made decks that use different extra deck strategies, so now there are really good decks where you won't make another Link Monster to go into this guy, so, like, there's no point. You won't have anything to banish, and you won't get any attack gain. But also, there was a really good, if you played the specific Cyberse Code Talker type deck, there was a setup that was viable for, I want to say, like a year or two, where you could make this guy attack twice. The game was literally over, because he's going to do 8k. Like, that shit sucks. So yeah, Access Code Talker's a big boogeyman. He was super expensive a lot of times, because Konami was cagey about reprinting him. Like I said, I think it's okay these days, just because there are decks that don't use him. But I will admit that, like, in Master Duel, I have one of these. It was one of the URs I've crafted, along with shit like Maxi, Ash Blossom, shit like that. Goddess of the Closed World, Underworld Goddess. He goes in a lot of decks. He does fit in a lot of decks. Because he's useful to just be like, yeah, it's time to battle phase.
This guy as well, when they were doing the anniversary nonsense, and because they say you can't choose which one you want, I randomly got this guy as a royal rare.
And you can't break those royal rares down.
Can't break those down. Can't just choose. No, it's all random. Thanks, fuckers.
I do, by the way, because they're all anime packs, I want to remind Konami, that sucks, by the way. Don't do that shit. Let me pick. They're not meta packs anyway. Let me pick two. It's been 2 years. I've literally never gotten the Red Eyes one. You keep giving me shit like I have a fucking red supernova dragon that's royal rare from that shit. Like, why would I want that?
I think I don't.
Okay.
Like, even then, when you pick the pack, you're not guaranteed to get the fucking royal rare you want anyway.
Yeah, because it's just one royal rare. Like, yes, you're guaranteed a UR out of that pack that will be royal, but, like, it's nothing. It's just, they're anime packs.
Like,
Konami, I don't know if, Mr. Konami, I don't know if you understand this. Some of the secret packs you've made suck. They're bad.
Yeah, just let us pick the goddamn anniversary pack, even if it's the same one again and again.
So this guy has the dreaded sample text, because I didn't realize, I think this guy isn't out in Master Duel, or he just came out, so, like, his card art's not uploaded. This is Code Igniter. This is their attempt to do, because this came out just a while ago in Alliance Insight. Oh, okay, so also, I was wrong there. I said Holy Sue came out. Alan was July. That's not true. Jush was July. Alliance Insight was... Yeah, it's ALIN. That was month number 5. Was that May? Yeah, May. April's 4. So Versus Soul has been independently good for more like 4 months. A banlist season. That's still not great for them to hit those cards, but those cards have existed for like 2 years. Anyway, Code Igniter. This feels like I've already forgotten what that guy was called. Which one is that guy? Cyberse Reminder. This already feels like they saw Cyberse Reminder and were like, nah. So Code Igniter here, like, is clearly a Code Talker guy based on his jumpsuit. But he's also a car man because he's got exhaust engines everywhere. And he has fire punches.
He looks like he belongs in the fucking Junk Warriors deck.
Yeah, kind of. He didn't have the Tron lines for sure. But Code Igniter is a Dark Cyberse Rank 4 with 2300 attack, 2k attack. He's completely generic. If this card is succeed summoned, add a Cyberse Ritual monster from your deck to your hand. You can detach one material from this card, ritual summon a ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters in your hand or field whose levels equal or exceed its level. If this card sends a graveyard link material, add one AI trap from your deck to your hand. You can use each effective code igniter once per turn. So this is another funny haha bridge card. Lets
Also,
you search
if you
AI
replace
traps.
the Tron suit, like his body, with either just normal white skin or some kind of furry animal, this would be a Digimon-ass Digimon.
Probably, yes.
Why do I say white skin specifically? There was a lot of white-skinned Digimon humanoids.
Yeah. And also was... Remind me, was Light Dragon Adagnister on the list ever?
You're asking the wrong person.
I'm asking chat. Was Light Dragon Adagnister ever
Okay,
on the
good.
list? Because that feels like it's true, and that Code Igniter would be the same role, basically a Cyberse rank 4 that's generic. But he searches a Cyberse ritual and adds an AI trap and stuff like that. Again, cool on them for trying to make these bridge cards. I don't think this has a home because there's still not that many Cyberse rituals. Like I said, Cyber Sage is cool. Cyberse Magician and Paladin of Storm Dragon are kind of nothing burgers.
I'll be right back.
He's being right back. It's cool, chat, that Libromancer has like a generic Ixie they can go into to search their guys. And does mean you don't need to worry about the ritual spell, but... I say. Bad gateway. Hold on, we're going to be loading. Yeah, Light Dragon's a rank 4. No, Code Igniter here is also a rank 4. So like I said, they're one's light, one's dark. So I'm wondering if the intent is to make them bridge together. It could just be that this guy Code Igniter is supposed to be a retrain of Cyberse Integrator, who was a rank 3, and they're just like, that shit don't work. But yeah, Igniter is support for some sort of Cyberse ritual thing that is still not perfected, but they're trying. Anyway, you've heard of Decode Talker. What about Code Talker? That's right, chat. It's him. He's the Code Talker.
What's next on the list?
This is Code Talker. The boneless variety.
Just Code Talker? Okay,
Yes.
Yeah. What the fuck is that sword design?
It's Decode Talker's sword, but it's gray now.
I didn't get a good look at it previously, but this is just silly.
Yeah, it is a little goofy.
Like the very end point looks like it could spin around.
It does have a little joint there. We also have Code Talker inverted. Because basically, I think Konami realized that Code Talkers didn't have a generic Link 2 that was in their archetype. All their guys were 3s, or when they made Accesscode 4. So they made Code Talker as the Link 2, and then they made Code Talker inverted as the other Link 2.
Yeah, makes sense.
So regular Code Talker is dark. Code Talker inverted is light. Code Talker has the up and down arrows. Inverted has left and right arrows. They're just kind of like mirroring each other. I think they both have 1300. Yeah, they both have 1300 attack. They're Link 2s. They do have slightly different requirements. Code Talker is just 2 effect monsters. Inverted is 2 Cybers monsters. Inverted is just a generic Cybers extender. When this card is Link summoned, or if this card's Link summoned, I should say, when and if are different, you can special summon a Cybers from your hand to a zone this card points to. You can only use this effect once per turn. I think Inverted was useful in some setups, because he is left and right, so you can like start to do U-Link type stuff. The problem is that he has left and right arrows, so you need to like already be comboing off. There are already cards that summon to zones that Link monsters point to that have down arrows, so you know, Code Talker is an extender where you got to get everything out there. Not to say he's bad, it's just one of those cards. It's like, he's not the most optimal, so you probably shave him for space. Regular vanilla Code Talker is gains 500 attack for each monster this card points to. Can't be destroyed by battle or by your opponent's card effects while it points to a monster. Just a super generic little guy. Honestly, I think Splash Mage is probably a better splash, as it were.
Yeah, but he's banned now, isn't he?
Yeah. They killed him. At least in the TCG. We'll see if they kill him in Master Duel. Because that sounds like a Master Duel style ban, where we kill a card that's like from the launch of the game. Even if it's an ultra rare, so we don't have to ban any ultra rares from the deck that's good. I also don't even know if Splash is an ultra. He might be like a fucking
Super?
Yeah. If he's a rare or a normal, that guy's cooked. We love to ban rares and normals in Master Duel.
Nah, Master Duel bans are just weird and stupid.
Some of them do, like some of them matter. But I strongly think that most of them are designed specifically so that they make more money. By which I mean so that they don't have to worry about it. Splash Mage is top right corner and bottom right corner, so not both back. But here, I'll show him on screen since he's banned now. He is a Splash and he is a Mage. Splash Mage was a it's an SR, yes, also. Splash Mage was a Cybers Link 2 that was water. Had 1100 attack. It was 2 Cybers monsters, but he says you can target a Cybers monster in your graveyard, special summon a defense, but negate its effects. Also, you can't summon for us to turn 6 Cybers. You can use this effect once per turn. Again, if you're playing a Link climbing deck with Cybers monsters, none of that shit matters. So yeah, probably good riddance to this guy in the TCG. We'll see if Master Duel follows suit. It's just like it's truly shocking how free some Cybers extenders are.
Yeah, because a lot of the times you see wording like, "Oh, you are locked into using this one," and it's like, sorry, you're locked into using only Cybers or other tribes, and it's like, well, you're only gonna use him in said tribe. I understand, like, if it's generic, that'd be fucking bullshit. But even then, it's like, it doesn't even
Splash
matter.
Mage is already just 2 Cybers monsters, so it's like, you're already only playing if you're playing a Cybers deck, so I guess it is... This was supposed to be the thing that stopped cards like Barone and Borreload Savage and Appaloosa from mattering. But it turns out that in their actual decks, it doesn't. You just played cards. Like, Cybers has so many Link monsters that it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's pull up a next weird one. This is Decode Talker Extended. So
my
this guy's a
God.
little weird. He was part of a structure deck in 2019 in the OCG. This was one of the structure decks they kept making for Cybers, for Code Talkers that stopped coming out. So this guy didn't get imported for a little bit, but he was in Duel Devastator, so they did bring him over. They found a home for him. But yeah, it's literally just Decode Talker 2. He has 2 swords now. Their shapes are slightly less dumb. The like deep purple and gold color scheme is like okay. I don't know what he's got. Like he's got like jet booster scarab legs hanging down. I'm not sure about that.
Decode Utopic.
Yeah.
By the way,
Decode
sorry,
Talker
I am
extended
eating right now.
Yeah. I figured Mr. Ice and stuff. Or was it a paper bag you were shuffling?
Paper bag.
Sounded a little bit like ice in a cup,
I did-
but anyway.
I did try to mute it for a bit, but yeah.
Decode Talker Extended is just another Dark Cybers Link 3. He's got the triangle arrows just like Decode Talker. He's got 2300 attack, just like Decode Talker. He's 2+ effect monsters. This card's name becomes Decode Talker.
Oh, wow.
Gains 500 attack for each monster it points to during your battle phase. If a monster this card points to is destroyed battle center to the graveyard, this card can make a second attack during this battle phase, this turn only. So, spoilers, it's Decode Talker 2, but stupider, but shittier. He just gets to multi-attack, maybe. If your opponent puts a monster or put a monster in the zone he points to, he can attack twice. Is it Code Radiators the guy that lets you attack twice? Let me double check.
Useful if you just manage, if your opponent already has him locked in, like a monster in that slot he points to.
Yeah, and obviously it's a battle effect, so like you're hoping you'll get a battle phase, so that makes sense. But it's still like vanilla Decode Talker's effect is negate a monster effect that targets, or negate a card effect, sorry, that targets a monster by tributing a card this points to, which can include your opponent. So it's weird. No, it's not that one. I don't remember what the... Chat might remember what the guy is. I don't remember what the guy who lets you attack twice is called. We're going to move on, though, to another Decode Talker variant. But this one makes much more sense. And this guy, I know for a fact, took a long fucking time for them to import. But whenever, UEP loads, it'll be Decode Talker Heat Soul. Which is Decode Talker, but on fire. It's basically Decode Talker plus Salmon Great Heat Leo. It's based on, Playmaker plus Soul Burner. So it's kind of a cool bro monster. He's for the homies. There is also a kind of downgraded form of him as well, which is Code of Soul. I think some of the extra shit he's got is a little weird, but it's pretty good overall. This is, again, I mean, it's funny that all this, we keep saying this about the Cybers monsters. I feel like Heat Soul is very Digimon coded because he's got that vibe that occasionally happens where you either, like, get to fuse a couple of Digimon together, or, like, one Digimon guy dies and passes his data to somebody else so he gets features of the other guy.
Yeah.
He's like a literal wombo combo guy.
What is it? Inserts here was it Gankumon and Huckmon? Never watched the anime, but I do know about it from the fucking video game.
Yeah, there's stuff like that happens occasionally. But Heat Soul is another Link 3. He's fire, though. He's got the same triangle arrows, one front, 2 in the back. It does require 2+ Cyber monsters with different attributes, so Heat Soul is a little complex to make, but you can make him. He gains 500 attack for each 100 points, too. Quick effect. Pay 1,000 LP, draw 1 card. If your LP are 2k or less, apply this effect. Banish this card from the field. If you do, special summon a Link 3 or lower Cyber from your extra deck, except Heat Soul. You can only use this effect of Heat Soul once per turn. This guy was like a super late import. Like, he was originally printed in the OCG in... Let's see, where? Yeah, they had a legendary gold box in 2019. It took until 2022 to print this guy in English. It took like 3 extra years. By then, his time had kind of waned, but there was room for what people called Heat Soul control. Just like, if you're playing a Cyber deck that has different attributes, you can just make some extra guys. Get some extra juice out there. And he does let you pay 1,000 to draw a card. And Code of Soul is kind of a bridge monster to go into Salomon Great. He's a Fire Cybers level 3 with 500 that says if you control a Link monster, you can special summon it from your hand. During your main phase, you can activate the effect, or once per turn, if you link or summon a Salomon Great, you can use 1 Salomon Great. You link control the same name as the entire material. Basically, does the field spell effect, but on a monster. Does Reincarnation Link summoning, which is their special thing. During your opponent's main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, summon a Link summon 1 Link 3 or higher Cybers monster. You can use each effect once per turn. So Code of Soul is clearly like a salad card to bridge in, but does work if you're splashing Salomon Greats in some other Cybers deck. I do think Salomon Great might lock you to Fire Cybers at some points. I know that their field spell or their field spell searcher... Sorry, I'm talking to Theon. Was limited at times, so I don't know if that's what they were going for. But he looks cool.
He looks alright. So I've also shared in the Fatal Portrayal chat what I was talking about.
Yes, I see the vibes.
When the Digimon has a literal fucking stand.
Let's see. What is this guy printed? This guy's pretty new, right? Yeah, this was Cyberstorm Access Sayak. So next we have the last of our code talkers. Finally. Protect Code Talker.
What?
Yeah, this guy's pretty new. He's only a couple years old again. Cyberstorm Access.
Is he meant to be like Accesscode for defense?
Yeah, kind of. I think also it's supposed to be, because of the hexagons, I think it's supposed to be, actually, yeah, with the helmet. It's like Decode Talker wearing a Firewall Dragon. And, Firewall Dragon is called Wall. Protect Code Talker is a Dark Cybers Link 3. He's got the forward arrow, but he doesn't have the 2 back. He's got the left and right, so he's got kind of a T shape, or a reverse T. He is just 2+ effect monsters. We've kind of learned our lesson with modern Code Talkers. Your opponent can't target Link 4 or higher monsters you control with card effects, also they can't be destroyed by battle. If you control a Firewall Link monster, quick effect, banish Link monsters from your graveyard, whose combined Link ratings equal exactly 3. Special summon this card from your graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field. You can use this effect of Protect Code Talker once per turn. Yeah, so it's supposed to bridge Code Talkers and Firewall together. They added new Firewall support in this set. It's okay. There's probably certainly merit to play this one over some of your other Link 3 Code Talkers. Because he, protects your fat-ass firewalls. The art design is interesting, but not perfect. There's also I thought this guy might have been related to Protect Code, but he's kind of a loosey-goosey. This is Code Exporter, who is a level 5 Cybers. This is another guy who took a while to import. Okay, no, this is the downgraded form of Xcode Talker. It's my bad, I missed him earlier. It's a level 5 Wind Cybers, 500 attack, 2300 defense. If a Cybers monster you control uses a link material, you can use this card in your hand. If this card's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, summon a Code Talker, target a single level 4 Cybers in your graveyard, add it to your hand, or if this card in the field was used material, special summon it, but gain its effects, you can use the effect once per turn. So that's Exporter. So there's lots of these little code guys. And then we're going to do some more of the Signet spell traps to round up. First, Signet Cascade. So this has Linkuribo and Text Changer from last time, who was Little Frog.
Oh, frog.
Hit him. So this is
So-
a Cybers Signet trap card, yeah.
I can only try to picture what's happening here. It's either text changes being turned into Link Karibo, like Link climbing, somehow. Or it's just... He's like, no, don't leave me here. Take me with you.
I think it's going to take me with you because this actually kind of describes this effect. So, Signet Cascade is a trap card that says, a normal trap that says, if you Link summon a Link monster, target one monster in your graveyard, use material, special summon it. So, Text Changer is, I think, a level 1 Cybers monster, and Linkuribo is a Link monster. So, it's like, you summon Linkuribo, you summon back the guy. Again, it's a trap card, so you got to set it, so it's a little slow. But it's a cute effect, and I like the art style they're going for there.
It works.
Here's one that those of you who have seen certain ongoing, type series may recall. Also, this is just a good graphic to see everybody, though it's a little weird to see these guys as 3D renders. Signet Codec. It shows the 6 attributes of Code Talkers together. But because it also shows the Link summoning portal with all 8 arrows, or all, 8. I think because the 9th would be in the middle. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But because there's only 6 attributes, it can't point to all of them.
Yeah. Shame.
It's funny. But yeah, this is all the Code Talkers. Well, not all of them, but, the main ones. Decode, Encode, Xcode, Power Code, Shooting Code, Transcode.
Yeah, the big main attribute ones.
The core 6, let's say. This is another continuous spell that says, if a Code Talker monster is special summoned from your from the extra deck to your field, except during the damage step, target one of those monsters, add a Cybers with the same attribute from your deck to your hand. Also, you can't special summon for us to turn except Cybers, even if this card leaves the field. You can't add other monsters with the same attribute by that effect. You activate this effect once per chain. So, this is just, like, the advantage engine. If you can get Signet Codec out and then just start summoning Code Talkers, or with different attributes, get a couple of them, you can just add some extra guys to your hand. And it really do be, like, adding some advantage of just once per chain, You're limited by attributes, but, you do it a few. You can get some of the stuff out there. They also have a counter trap. Signet Conflict, some of you may have heard of as well. This has Decode, Encode, and Power Code on it. This art style seems a little different than normal, but, they're doing stuff.
Let's see if I can. So I forgot his name. The guy in the background is like, "Yeah, I'm posing," while everyone else is doing shit.
Yeah. He's like, "Get 'em, boys!" They're like Sentai posing. Sentai conflict's pretty simple. When a spell, trap, card, or monster effect is activated while you control a Code Talker monster, negate, banish it. If you do, your opponent can't activate cards or effects of cards of the same name. Until the end of this turn, you can activate one Sentai conflict per turn. So it's a pretty good archetype Omni Negate, because it's also, like, crossout designator.
I mean,
Basically,
when you think about it, the Code Talkers are just a Sentai team.
Yeah, kind of. It's okay. There's ways to search Signet spell traps. It's only really good, obviously, if you're going all in on Code Talkers, but it can be pretty useful. I feel like the archetypal Omni Negate is kind of one of those lost arts these days. Like, you usually still see them every once in a while, but they're not as important. But they're still out there, and like I said, Signet Conflict's a good one. God, this is a 2021 card. This is Signet Crosswipe. It has an X. And I don't know why it took him until 2021 to print this card. Signet Crosswipe just says tribute to Cybers. Target a card on the field, destroy it. So it's just, you know, not Icarus Attack, because that's 2 guys, but there's cards like that that are just like tribute 1, pop 1. You know, kind of like Share the Pain. Shit like that. It's a quick play, so that's cool. But yeah, this is like prehistoric Yu-Gi-Oh card design. Came out in 2021. So not much to say there. It's probably got some uses. Doesn't even let you draw a card like Gemini Spark. Honestly, this last one, that's a firewall card. I can cut that, move that to the firewall zone, and we can build towards firewalls and add Ignisters next time, like I said. Let's see. How long is the streaming going? Almost 3. Little shorter, but we talked about banlist and stuff, and I don't want the streams to go on too long. We're already, you know, yawning and hiccuping and stuff. So we can wind it in a little before we got some stuff. I know Loth has some other things to do with his day.
Yeah, the problems of actually having a job now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, we make it work.
And time zones, yeah.
But yeah, so that is Code Talker and Synets, like the whole complete package. Plus some other Cybers stuff that is all like eminently accessible. Code Talkers on their own are kind of a neat little deck. It feels like Konami was trying to make them go places, but they did seem kind of hesitant to like mass print Accesscode Talker. Like, they put him out, he was a good card, but they also kind of like were a little sketchy with the reprints for a couple of years. And like, there's some good lines. Certainly they're an interesting deck if you want to brew, and they have forks. Like I said, they've really tried to bring Firewall back, bigger than ever. We've really tried to bring Ad Ignister back as well. You know, that those sets just coming out recently. So there's definitely some stuff going on. They're doing some things. But I also think that they aren't quite... They have a little bit of the old anime chaff, you know? Like half the Code Talkers don't do anything that's actually useful. But, you know, they're hanging out. We'll see if they continue to print Code Talker stuff. It is funny to talk about that, like, they do occasionally try to support Vrain's decks. Like, the next set in the OCG is going to include a shitload of Rocket support. Salad and Rocket are on the list. We'll do them sometime. But,
and hopefully it just won't be Omega Knight again.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll grab some people. I know Dallas is recovering from some COVID brain. I hope he's good next week, because, like I said, we'll probably do Firewall Dragon and Ad Ignister to just keep doing Cybers type stuff. Keep jumping into the Vrains, dipping our toe in the Vrains, slurping into the Vrains. I've run out of things I can say about Vrains.
I was actually about to ask, like, how much more can you do? And
that's it.
Yeah.
We're out. We're done. So, but yeah, we'll see if we can get there, because Dallas has actually played some Ad Ignister, so he might have some stuff to say. And it also, I'd really like to do some cubes, chat. But again, it seems like Tuesday is no longer the best booked day for that. So we'll need to get more people back before we can be Cuban.
Yeah, it seems
So
like
I don't know how long everybody's plans are going on, but we'll try. But yeah, I think, like I said, Code Talkers are neat. I think they got some good stuff there. They were marred by, I do genuinely think that Konami didn't want to make Access Code Talker too easy to summon. I know that's shocking to say, but like, I think they didn't go ham on like Code Talker type support because they were like, well, Access Code's really good. I mean, and Access Code should be good. He is supposed to be the final guy from the anime. He's literally the last Link monster ever summoned. Like, but I said, they may have made some of his card design too annoying. But we'll wrap up and get out of here. Support the channel a little bit, guys. I see you out there. You know, give us some memberships, give us some likes. Hype us up. If you see that hype button, that's a thing that we do now. Thanks for tuning in. Support us on Patreon. We will have a Patreon poll result. I'm pretty sure the poll's concluded, but I haven't looked at it to double check, so I'll leave you guys mysteriously mysterious. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Tune in tomorrow for Final Fantasy XIV. We're probably going to do more Aether Pool. Work on my relic. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.